This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline dreams, for the lug nuts holding tight to the wild red line scenes, for the families, the drivers, the wrench turning crews, for the chrome, the smoke, and the ones who refuse to lose. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, that's who we are. We're a culture, we're a brotherhood, we are only motivated. Build not borrowed, that's the creed written deep in our veins. We turn busted cars into legends and rust into fame. From late night garage grind to race day stadium roars, every scar on our knuckles unlocks 1,000 doors. We don't back down, we don't break, we don't fold. Every ride we build tells a story worth gold. This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline trains, for the lug nuts holding tight to the wild red line scenes, for the families, the drivers, the wrench turning crews, for the chrome, the smoke, and the ones who refuse to lose. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, that's who we are. We're a culture, we're a brotherhood, we are only Here's to the nights when the world said slow down, but the engine said no and we stood our ground. To the ones who grew up rich and when the rest took the easy way, we found our path in the piston noise and we'll ride it every day. Pedal to the metal, this is where we belong. Cars, trucks, monster trucks, loud and strong. Passion, pride, lug nuts, side by side. If you love what you drive, then ride, ride, ride. This is for the legends that started in dusty garages, for the kids who chase dreams through the scars and collages, for the racers who gave everything without fail, and the fans who stand proud when the engines wail. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, this ain't a phase. It's our passion, our culture, and we'll live it to the grave. Pedal to the metal, forever in our veins. So look out, we're only getting louder from here. Nothing built strong was ever built out of fear. The road is wide open and the fire won't slow, because this isn't a hobby, this is the only life we know. Pedal down, heads high. We're not done. Pedal down, heads high. Pedal down. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. You're listening to Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music, the show where horsepower, stories, and great music come together. From beautiful collector classics to fire-breathing race cars to the ground-shaking thunder of monster trucks, this is where the world of motors meets the power of music. So strap in tight, fire up, and grab your favorite cold drink, because around...
Well, that's great. That's great. I don't know, guys. I tell you what, we're just having a good time here tonight. We're just We're setting everything off. We're making it. The crowd goes wild. Yeah. Okay. Come on now. Come on. You guys are too kind. Come on. Stop it. You're making me blush. Come on. Hey, tell your mother hi for me. Oh, man. Let's calm it down right there. We got the rowdies in the front row. Mezzanine's full. Everybody in the audience is ready to go. The bar is open, man. We're having a good time, man. It's just going to be a great time here tonight on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music. Hey, guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking to a gentleman tonight by the name of Mike Johnson. Now, Mike was introduced. Hey, buddy, how you doing, Kenny Paradise? How you doing, man? Anyway, Mike Johnson came to us from Jay Bozart. He's a friend of Jay's, and Mike is a custom hot rod builder and custom exhaust man and stuff. And he's up in the Wisconsin area. And hello, Carter, how are you? And anyway, we're going to be talking to him about his hot rod career. We're going to be talking to him about how it is in the exhaust business and just a little bit of everything, man. Jay said this will be a good interview, and you know what? You got to when these guys that I have on the show before. Now Jay had the Blue Ox monster truck, and when they tell you, hey, this is going to be a good interview, man, you got to call the guy up and at least give him a shot, man. And I did, and yeah, it worked out pretty good, man. I think it's going to be a great show. So I look forward to talking to him, and that'll be at 7:15. But tonight we got a lot of things going on here, man. It's April 1st, April Fool's Day. I should have just if I was on my game, which I really wasn't, because all of a sudden I shut the music off. I would have April Fooled you guys somehow. I don't know how, but I would have done it, and that's just the way that roller rolls right there. I'll guarantee you that right now. So anyway, tonight we got Mike Johnson on, and then on the 5th we got the Young Guns of Auctioneering starting, and we're going to have Mr. Scott Goodhue on. Scott Goodhue's on, and he is a two-time world champion auctioneer. He's a good friend of mine. I work with him on Tuesday. I got another good friend in here that's an auctioneer extraordinaire, Kenny Paradise. Kenny, he sold the first Conestoga wagon to the settlers at an auction, or at least that's what Scott says. But I work with Kenny, and I don't believe anything Scott says. So anyway, we're gonna have a good time tonight. I don't have any R&R, Kenny. I'm R&R list tonight. I don't have any, and I apologize, or I'd toast to you, my brother. But anyway, the Young Guns are going to be a good show, and because Scott and I are going to talk about them on the very first time on the 5th, and we're going to go through each one. And Scott has mentored these guys, and it's going to be really interesting to find out about these Young Guns of Auctioneering. And then right after the Scott gets off the air, we're going to have Tony Janetta. Tony is a hot rod builder down in Pueblo. He has a nice collection of cars and stuff like that. He's a great mechanic, and we're going to have him on, and he's going to be in our car show on the 31st. And then we cruise on over to on April 8th. Then we have Dave Gross, legendary announcer, on. He's going to be another great interview. Chris Miller's going to be the Young Gun Auctioneer starting at 6 o'clock. Chris grew up in the auction business. He's going to be around. There's Sam Ditto. Robert Haas is in the house. Jay Bozart's in the house, man. We got Kevin Dickey's in the house. We got all kinds of good people in the house tonight, man, listening to us. But anyway, we'll talk to Chris Miller. His mom and his family grew up in the cattle business, and they have a cattle auction. And we're going to be talking to him. And then on the 12th, we have Blake Sherman. He's one of the Young Gun auctioneers. And Blake just started working with Barrett Jackson. And he holds the record on his very first car he sold. Was an early 80s Cadillac. And he made it do like $92,000 or $96,000 or something like that. And it was a record for Barrett Jackson. And then Mike Welsh is going to be on. Mike is, of course, a monster truck driver from from the past, and he's more famous for having a monster truck called Super Pete. And Mike is also a legendary promoter and a legendary motorsports announcer also. Now on the 15th, which is April 15th, is tax day. Yuck. We got Chad Lamb, another young gun auctioneer. And I grew up uh, working underneath Chad's dad. And plus, I also grew up buying cars from Chad's dad. His name is Randy Lamb. And Chad's going to be on the 15th. And then on for our interview that night is Gregory Dr. Danger. This man, God, he's done more things in his lifetime. He's been on ATV, he's been on the History Channel, and that's America's Got Talent, and AGT. I mean, I'm sorry. And anyone that knows this guy knows how crazy he is. I mean, he sets himself on fire. He jumps through fire. He rides a motorcycle through fire. If it's got something to do with fire, Dr. Danger has definitely done it, guaranteed. So we're working on that one. And then on the 19th, we have Wes Lamb. Wes is another young gun auctioneer, and he is the brother of Chad Lamb. So those two brothers have joined and followed Dad's footsteps, and they're going to be up and coming auctioneers. They already are, and it's going to be good to have them on. I've known them all their life. And then we have Mr. Jeff Little, who just opened up Sunrise Hotrod and Customs. He is a custom shop here in Parker, Colorado. We're going to be talking to him about his new business. He's also the Best Paint Sponsor Award for my car show, and he's going to be building a trophy for that and doing that. And then on the 22nd, we got Kevin Rudder. Now, Kevin Rudder's really not a young gun auctioneer, but Kevin is been in the auction business for a while. But he is a young gun as far as starting to auctioneer in the automobile world, and he's going to be on the 22nd. Kevin's also an extraordinary benefit and gala auctioneer. He flies all over the United States doing these auctions and stuff, and he is a master at what he does. I'll guarantee you that. And then we got a musician on that night by the name of Deadbird, and he's a local artist in Parker here, and we're going to be talking to him about his music and stuff. And then on the 26th, we have a new papa. Yeah, Trent Holsworth. They just had a little baby boy, and he's going to be on. His dad owns Holsworth Auction Company, and Trent works with him, and sooner or later, Trent will take over that business. But that's going to be good. And I knew Trent when he was little, too. In fact, Kenny and his wife wanted to go get away for an hour or two, and they asked me to watch the kids. And Trent and his sister Maddie, I got to watch them, and Trent was just a little baby, man, but I love that kid too, man. All these kids, all these guys are just really good kids, and I think they have a hell of a career in the auction business. I really do. And then on the 29th, we got Ethan McDowell. Now, Ethan is a young auctioneer down in Pueblo, Colorado, and they have Pyramid Auto Auctions. And Ethan is just a young gun coming up through the ranks, strong, very strong chant, just a great auctioneer, and I can't wait for that right there. Now on the 17th, you guys, if you don't tune into any of these shows, which I want you to tune into every one of them, but if you don't tune into any show but this one, please tune into this one and mark it on your calendar. It's the 17th of April, and Robert's on the show tonight right here. He's in the audience, and I'll tell you what, man, it's gonna be awesome. There's Texas Rich. Rich is in the house, man. He's always good to see in there, man. Mr. C10 American Magazine himself, right here in the show. Congratulations, Rich, for helping your dad today. I got to hear all about the new office. But anyway, getting back to Robert Haas. Robert Haas is out of Florida, and he started building mud trucks back in the day, and he's known for the baddest mud truck probably in Florida right now. And he's got some monster trucks. And B.J. Johnson and Kevin King are going to go down there. He's going to have a show on the 17th. And Lindsay's going to be there, B.J.'s wife. and we're going to sit down like a campfire conversation and talk to all of them right there at Robert's compound right there, maybe even at the racetrack. I'm not really sure. Hello, Ellie. How are you? We have Ellie in here, guys, and I'll be getting to you about her in just a minute here. But Ellie's has Seppi's Chala Breads down in Pueblo. That's where we're going to be doing the car show from. Man, I can't wait. I just can't wait. And I'm so glad that you're in here, Ellie. Thank you for tuning in. That makes my heart feel good. Anyway, we'll get to her business here in just a minute when we talk about our sponsors. But anyway, getting back to Robert, make sure you guys tune in, okay? Make sure you tune in on that show on the 17th because it is going to be fantastic, man. Anytime you can get uh, these guys in the room together and talk with a couple of monster truck drivers at the same time and stuff, the stories just flow, man, and it's gonna be awesome. It really is. I can't wait. So April's already full. I'm working on May. We already have Kayla Savage booked for the 6th. I have Russ Steely on the 10th. I got Charlie Miller on the 17th. I am talking to Rod Wood, McGruff, the crime dog. And he's going to give me a date that he can be on. I also got a phone number, thanks to J.R. Adams, for Eric Tack, who is a legendary Bigfoot driver. That'll be a good show if I can get Eric on the show and stuff like that. So it's just happening, man. Everything's just falling into place and everything's going good and stuff. So I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Let's go ahead and pay a little few bills right here, right fast. If you guys got a windshield problem and you're here in the Denver area, give my buddy at Arch Auto Glass a call. His name is Art. The phone number over there is 720-296-8635. That's 720-296-8635. If you mention the show, you get 10% off on installation. So every dime helps in this world and this economy right now. Now, I just told you about the lady that's in here, and I've only known her for just a little while now, but I just consider her a great friend, and she has a business that has been in my dad's original location for his car lot down in Pueblo, Colorado. And it's called Seppi's. And I know I'm going to butcher this, Ellie, so I'm sorry. Chala Breads. And it's located at 131 Broadway Avenue in Pueblo, Colorado. That phone number down there is 719-664-2042. Give her a call, man. She can ship out the breads to you guys, or if you're in the Pueblo area, you got to go by and check this place out, man. They kept the ambiance of the standard station, and then they redid the whole inside. And I got a chance to do a walkthrough, me and my brother with Ellie the other day, and I just felt it's like I was back home again. And so we are going to be fortunate enough to be able to do a car show at this one, and it filled up so fast. I can't believe it. I mean, it filled up so fast, and we're just looking forward to hanging out down there in Pueblo on the 31st. I've got the dash plaques made. They're in the mail right now. I've got all the entry forms filled out. I go down there sometime after the 9th, and we are going to walk the lot and kind of see how many cars exactly we can fit, and just come up with some good stuff. And then on the 31st, man, of May, we're gonna be rocking in Pueblo, man. We got DJs, we got all kinds of stuff, man. And then next door is the Broadway Tavern and Grill, and that's a good friend of mine, Greg Frankmore. Greg owns the place down there, and we're going to be closed until April 10th due to Passover. Yeah, so the Seppi's bread will be closed because of Passover till April 10th. So if you're wanting to order bread or anything like that, you're not going to be able to till after the 10th. So make sure that you mark that down. But you need to try that bread for sure, guaranteed. But anyway, Greg Frankmore owns the Broadway Tavern and Grill, and he's going to have the food there in his restaurant. You're going to be able to go right next door, order food, get yourself some drinks or whatever, and it's just going to be a good time. Now, another friend of mine who's making all the trophies for the show is Jesse Scott. Jesse Scott Crafts and Creation Studio. That's www.jessescott.com. Phone number is 715-721-5655. 5999. That's 715-721-5999. And if you're looking for the giant spark plug, those are going to be the trophies, or if you're looking for this light box, it's we gonna have he can make those for you, man. He can put your company logo on there. You can put it in the window. You can put it on your desk. They are amazing. It's an amazing advertisement piece. So if you're looking for Jesse Scott in Crafts and Creations, once again, you can find him on Facebook or go to www.jessescott.com or phone him at 715-721-5999. Now, a good buddy of mine on the 13th, no, not the 13th, it's, let me just get this one out right fast. On October the 3rd is the White Buffalo Car Show down in Snyder, Texas. If you get a chance to go down there, my buddy Scott Stout's going to be down there and putting on this show. C10 America, Texas Rich is going to be there. You can get some autographs. You better bring your pens, buddy. Anyway, yeah, I'll get you the information because you'll like it, Ellie. You'll like those light boxes for sure. But anyway, Texas Rich will be down there with his show. He's got a whole street for the C10 America Car Corral, and it's going to be a good time, man. I'm going to try to make it. I don't know if I can, but you never know. If the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be there. So anyway, let's see here. Where we at? We already did Jesse Scott. Stickers. Still, got to get a hold of my buddy Robbie. He just got a new job. I put a phone call into him, but he hasn't gotten with me yet. We're going to get the stickers put on the website, and then you guys can buy your sticker packs and everything. But we got everything from the little pedal to the metal motor and music stickers to Rolling with Roller and Derek stickers to the old pedal to the metal podcast with your host Roller stickers. We've got all kinds of stuff, man, so we'll have those for sale, and they will be on the website real soon. Now, talking about the website, that's www.pedaltothemetalpodcast.com. You can go in there. Hello, Cousin Debbie. You can go in there and you can buy shirts. You can request to be on the show. You can see old versions of the show, the old episodes that we did and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things on the page on the website that we're just starting out. And if there's something that you guys can think of, and just tell me, and I'll have Robbie add that on, whatever's going to make it easier for you. Usually you had to go to fourthwall.com and type in this long old name to get to my page and stuff, but now you can just go right there from the website and click a button, and it takes you right to fourthwall.com. You can order t-shirts, you can order hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, tennis shoes. We have tennis shoes, that's right. What else do we have? We've got hoodies. We got sweatshirts. I said coffee mugs. I think there's mouse pads in there. We've got a little bit of everything in there for anybody that wants to get something from the pedal to the metal motors and music portion. So other than that, guys, I've got some stuff. I've been working on some stuff for Easter, and it's for a friend of mine, local friend of mine, and I'll share that with you guys a little later on in the show. But it's I don't know. It's not bad. I think it's pretty good. For my first time doing something like that. Anyway, I kind of like it, and I guess that's all that really matters. Hopefully he likes it and he gets to hear it. I'm working on Robert's song as we talk. The name of it will be called Bobcat Bob, but as usual, I can't play anything. Well, I don't have it anyway, but as usual, I can't play it until Robert listens to it and okays the music, so I got to do that. We remade the song Born in 1969 about the 69 Camaro, so I'm going to go ahead and play that for a minute, and we'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Born in 69.
There you go, guys. There you go, man. This just starting off car show season, boys and girls. And I'm telling you what, man, I've got the perfect idea for your display. My buddy Texas Rich has these metal prints and metal show boards that he does. And these things are phenomenal. They are amazing pieces of art. And they are art. I mean, it's just the way it is. This man is an artist in what he does. He'll have you send him like 15 pictures. He'll have you write a paragraph maybe on yourself, or he'll have you write a paragraph and then write a paragraph about your vehicle. He can make these metal prints and these metal show boards, and I'm telling you what, they are a game changer for the displays on your car. This one here, now you can't get this one because you have to be in his magazine to get these right here. But this is the article about my truck. And ever since I put this out on the hood of my truck at the car shows, people stop, they take a look, they check it out, and then they walk around the truck. Before, they would just kind of walk on by. You know, they'd take a glance, but they would never, if I had the little Honda mini trail in the back end of it, they'd stop. Sometimes the mini trail got more looks than the truck itself did. So anyway, but since I put this out there, they take the time, they read the story about Bob, and then they go ahead and they just take the time. They engage. They ask questions and different things like that. So these prints, they come in sizes of 11 by 14, 16 by 20, and 20 by 30. Now, the 20 by 30 is the show board, and you can only get that in a 20 by 30. Now, you can get the other ones in all three sizes, but the show board only comes in the big size of 20 by 30. I'm not going to tell you the prices because I'd mess them all up, and then you'd say, well, Roller said that these were the prices, and being the guy that Rich is, he'd honor them, or either that or he'd probably shoot me first and then maybe honor the price. But anyway, if you get a hold of him, it's Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. That's Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. Get a hold of him. He can tell you the prices. He'll tell you exactly what he needs, and he'll put you in the queue. He's got a deal called the queue, and that's a big portion of his shop. And you start off with, hey, I've talked to this person, and then, hey, we've got pictures, and we've got a story, and then, hey, this is in production. Now it's sent over to be made. Now it's back from being made. It's at the house. It's being mailed to me, and now it's being mailed out. So you get in the queue, and to get the queue started, you got to send in the information, and you got to pay for it first, and then he'll put you in there. And these prints are amazing. Like Kevin Dickey says, you can't imagine how nice they are. They are beautiful works of art. And this man right here is very talented. And you need to become a member. Become a member, too, of C10 America Magazine and the show. He does a podcast Monday through Friday. It's at 9 o'clock Central Time. And I'm telling you what, man, he's got probably 83,000 viewers now, followers. And it's just amazing. It's amazing that what you can happen in 3 years. I hope that my show has just half of the numbers that he has in 3 years. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. So, just make sure you get a hold of him. Once again, Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. And that's Pedal to the Metal Motors and Music Podcast.com. That's pedal, P-E-D-A-L. P-E-D-A-L for pedal, okay? All right, guys, this next one here, let's see here. I have a pinstriping buddy here in town. Very, very creative gentleman. His name is Rody. And Rody, I made him a song the other day, and I sent it to him, and Rody's going to be at the car show. And he couldn't believe that somebody would make a song after him. And so I made a song, and the name of the song, it's a 50s, 60s version, and this here is called Rody's Line. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
In a paint shop next to his house, gets around. A steady hand and a camel hair brush, one smooth line and the whole crowd hush. Candy red flames on a midnight ride, and a silver line dancing down the side. Roadie's lines running straight and true, like a guitar string singing that rock and roll tune. From a Chevy to a Ford to a Merc so fine, every hot rod shines with Roadie's lines. Yeah, Roadie's lines, smooth as a melody, running down steel like a rock guitar lead. When the cruisers roll under those street light signs, everybody knows those Roadie lines. Flatheads rumble on a Saturday night, chrome shining under the driving light. A coupe rolls in with a brand new flame, but it ain't complete till Roadie signs his name. One long pull and the crowd leans near, nobody talks when the brush comes near. One steady curve and a final shine, now that hot rod's wearing Roadie's line. His shop sits right beside his house, bright shop light shining all around. Bib overalls and a white t-shirt, that steady hand never slips or jerks. Striped panels hanging on the wall, flames and scrolls from years of them all. Every panel tells a story in time of the hot rods of war. Roadie's lines, Roadie's lines, running straight and true, like a guitar string singing that rock and roll tune. From a Chevy to a Ford to a Merc so fine, every hot rod shines with a Roadie's lines. Yeah, Roadie's lines, smooth as a melody, running down steel like a rock guitar lead. When the cruisers roll under those street light signs, everybody knows those Roadie lines. From Denver streets to a highway show, hot rod legends all know where to go. One little brush and a little white paint turns cold steel into rolling saints. Roadie's lines, running straight and true, like a guitar string singing that rock and roll tune. From a Chevy to a Ford to a Merc so fine, every hot rod shines with a Roadie's lines. Yeah, Roadie's lines, smooth as a melody, running down steel like a rock guitar lead. When the engines roar and the red lights shine, you'll see those cars wearing Roadie's lines.
You know, if you lived in this area and you were looking for pinstriping, Roadie's been around for a long time. He's got a great name in this part of the country, and they come from all over to get Roadie's lines. I promise you that right now, guaranteed for sure. So let's see here. What's up next? Okay, let's do this one. This one here is called She Wanted Me to Sell My C10. This is about a young couple that were getting married, and then all of a sudden the wife took over, and she's like, you got to sell that, and you got to sell this, and you got to sell that, and because you need to grow up, because we're getting married, and you can't have that anymore. And oh, by the way, you got to sell that old C10. Well, it didn't fit with him. So here it is. She wanted me to sell my old C10.
I was packing up my life for a brand new start, a little white church and a hopeful heart. She said a man don't need all this old I was packing up my life for a brand new start. A little white church and a hopeful heart. She said a man don't need all this old stuff around, all those dusty memories stacked on the ground. Old concert shirts and a fishing pole, a toolbox worn from 1,000 rolls. She smiled sweet, but her words cut in. Said a married man don't live like this. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow, leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through every mile and every bend. So I told that girl with a steady grin, honey, I ain't selling my C10. She said that truck's just rust and steel, but it's more than that behind the wheel. First kiss parked by a county road, first paycheck when I drove it home. Every dent's got a story to tell, every mile's like a ringing bell of nights with friends in a small town sky. That old truck's where my years rolled by. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow, leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through every mile and every bend. So I told that girl with a steady grin, honey, I ain't selling my C10. And then one night she drew the final line, said that old truck or this love of mine. I stood there thinking a minute or two about the road and the life I knew. I might never see another C10 again, but I'd see that girl every day till the end. So I grabbed my keys and I shut that door. Said, darling, you can head on down the road. Well, I was driving down the road the other day when I saw them pulled over on that old highway. Her and her new man in that electric ride broke down their eyes looking at me in disbelief. So I pulled my old C10 off to the side, asked them both if they needed a ride. They just stood there staring at me while I laughed and drove off in my old C10. Well, I found me a prettier gal with blonde hair and a smile that lights up everywhere. She loves the sound of that small block roar and that old bench seat and a 3-speed floor. She said, keep that truck, don't ever let it go. That old C10's got a heart and soul, and every time that engine runs, I know I made the right move back then. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow, leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through my old C10.
There you go. You know, you just can't make a man sell a C10. That's all there is to it, man. I mean, I'm sorry, you just can't. And, you know, last week I was switching back and forth from the lyrics to the song, and I tried doing that tonight, and it just shut everything off. So the gremlins are amongst us, ladies and gentlemen. The gremlins are amongst us. I love the gremlins. We don't have no wasps tonight, so that's good. There's nothing. I looked earlier, and I don't see any of them in the house, so that's a good thing. Uh, let's see here. What do we got next? You know, Kevin Dickey, it's up to you. I don't want the waterworks to. What Sam say? I thought they were just cuss words. Sam Ditto, my brother from another mother. Kevin Dickey, it's up to you. If you want me to play your daughter's song, I would be more than happy to, but I don't want to start the waterworks all over and bring it down. So that's your call. You can tell me yes or no, and I'll do whatever you'd like here. So this next song up here, ladies and gentlemen, is called I Owe My Life to That Tailpipe Tune. And this is basically this gentleman got some news from the doctor, and he took his old C10 out or his vehicle out, and he didn't even have the radio on, man. All he did was hear the tailpipe tune, and it cured him, man. So this is I Owe My Life to That Tailpipe Tune. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
I owe my life to that tailpipe tune. All my life since I was young, I loved hot rods and the tailpipe tune. Every ride I ever owned had its own kind of rumble to it. Old Chevy's Fords, a few worn trucks, headers barking when I fired them up. Every engine had a voice, and that sound was my kind of noise. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, back road afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. When the world said I was through, I found my life in that tailpipe tune. And one day about 2 years ago, doctor sat me down real slow, said, son, the news ain't looking good. There's something in you that shouldn't be there. Cancer was the word he said. Felt like lightning in my head. On the drive back home I cried, thinking maybe this was the end. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, canyon afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. When the world said I was through, I found my life in that tailpipe tune. Walked out to my old shop that night, stealing chrome under dusty lights. Every hot rod standing proud like they knew what I was thinking about. So I climbed in that old truck seat, turned the key and woke that beast. The radio blaring loud and clear, but it didn't change a thing inside of me. so I shut it off, and there it was, the deep down rumble. I always loved that big block heartbeat in the night, started making everything feel right. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, prairie afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. When the world said I was through, I found my life in that tailpipe tune. Through the canyons and the plains, let that motor ease the pain. Every mile the fear would fade, every mile a little faith, that rumble running through my veins, like medicine in every frame. 6 months later I walked back in, doctor staring at the screen again. Said, son, I don't know what to say, the thing we found has gone away. Said, I can't explain your case, never seen results like this. I said, doc, it's simple truth, I know exactly what it is. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, canyon afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. If I make it past 78, I'll thank that big block Chevy V8. Yeah, the answer to life's blues is the sound of those big block tailpipe tunes.
There you go. You know, music, they say music has a cure for a lot of ailments, and I'll guarantee you what, I am a firm believer in that right now. So, Kevin, I don't know if you were on or if you heard me. If you want me to play Andy's song, I will. I just don't want to cause any more bad emotions or anything like that, but you just give me thumbs up, thumbs down. But right now, I'm going to play a song that I haven't had so much reaction on my Suno app than I have on this song right here. And the name of this song is I Won My Dream Car on a $2 scratch ticket. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Stop for gas on a Friday night, $2 in my hand. Bought a scratch-off ticket at the counter, just a tired working man. Didn't think much when I scratched that silver under neon lights so dim. Then the clerk said, son, you better look again. That number's a winner, friend. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. Lord, I still can't believe my luck. A 1967 black Corvette with lays it down. Heavy duty brakes and suspension, built like a street legal race. Leather seats and a telescopic wheel, man, that car had style and grace. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. Lord, I still can't believe my luck. A 1967 black Corvette with a red interior tub. 427 tri-power thunder, 4-speed on the floor to drive. Side pipe singing like a rock and roll band. 435 horses alive. Kills a hay spinner, knockoff wheels, red line tires on the ground. Positive traction in the rear end when that big block lays it down. Heavy duty brakes and suspension, built like a street legal race. Leather seats and a telescopic wheel, man, that car had style and grace. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. Lord, I still can't believe my luck. A 1967 black Corvette with a red interior tub. 427 tri-power thunder, 4-speed on the floor to drive. Side pipe singing like a rock and roll band. 435 horses alive. AM/FM playing old road songs, air conditioned, cool and sweet. Power windows rolling down slow when I cruise that summer street. People stare when the pipes start rumbling. Every gear that big block roars. Feels like heaven when I drop the clutch and let that L71 soar. Funny how life can change in seconds, from a dream you never expect. 2 little bucks and a scratch of silver turned into my dream Corvette. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. From a gas pump on Highway 9. Now I'm driving my black '67 Vet with that big block roaring fine. 427 tri-power thunder, side pipes howling in the night. $2 gamble at a country store turned a dream into a ride.
I wish I could turn $2 into a '67 Corvette. I'll tell you that right now. All right, guys, I got thumbs up from Kevin. We played this song last week. We debuted it. This song is a tribute to Kevin's daughter, Andy, and I love the song. I really do. It brings some tears to eyes and stuff like that, but Andy was a special young lady, and I never got to meet her, but I feel like I know her. And so this is called Riding Shotgun from Heaven right here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Daddy, you bought that Silverado back in 2001. A California stepside, shining in the sun. 305 motor and factory air. But you saw a better truck hiding in there. Then you dropped a 350 with a 4-barrel carb. Little Cam and Flowmasters rumbling hard. That Chevy carried every mile we'd seen before we ever knew what that truck would mean. I remember missing the school bus, standing next to you, just I'd smile so proud, telling all my friends I'd make you proud. I used to say that truck would someday be mine. Guess I dreamed about it all the time. Those mornings riding through the sunrise glow mean more now than you'll ever know. Then my brother came home wearing Marine Corps green. You handed him the keys to that old machine. He drove the wheels off that Chevy for years, till the frame gave away for miles and years. So he parked it down and let it sit, dust on the hood, thinking that was it. But I told you, Dad, let's bring it back alive. Me and my boyfriend would make it right. He said that truck wasn't worth the time, said we'd find another dream down the line. But life has a way of changing our plans. 6 months later, fate dealt its hand. That freeway night changed everything. But Daddy, please don't blame a thing, 'cause even then I still could see the dream that truck would someday be. Now that old truck rolls down the road, carrying love you always showed. Every mile that engine screams still carries on. Andy's dream, sinister smoke in the midnight gleam, lime green lights like I dreamed. Every road and every scene still carries on. Andy's dream. I watched you working boat by boat, turning heartache into hope. Body line smooth and the glass set clean, building the truck I always dreamed. Red oak bed and the stance down low, 383 stroke ready to go. 525 horses rumbling strong. Daddy, you finished what I dreamed all along. That old truck rolls down the road, carrying love you always showed. Every mile that engine screams still carries on. Andy's dream. I see that truck every time it rolls, shining black with that green glow. And every time that engine roars, I'm riding right there like before. Mama, Daddy, please don't cry for me. I'm doing fine where the roads run free. One day we'll all be together, it seems. So keep on driving, Andy's dream. And every time that truck rolls by, just know I'm riding shotgun from the sky.
There you go, Andy's Dream. Kevin Dickey, I love you, brother. You and your wife, Connie. This next song up, guys, is called All I Need Is My C10 Truck and My Dog. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Morning sun breaking over county road lines, coffee in a thermos and a little quiet time. That old C10 waits where the gravel meets the drive, fires up easy like it's glad to be alive. My German Shepherd jumps up in the seat, tail thumping rhythm to the tires on the street. Ain't much money, but I thank the Lord above for an old Chevy truck and a good dog's love. All I need in life is my C10 Chevy. Four wheels rolling down a dusty back road rut, and my dog riding next to me through the wind and sun. Two best friends when the day is done. No fancy house, no silver or gold, just a simple life on a country road. If the good Lord asked what makes my life enough, I'll say my C10 Chevy and my dog. Tailgate down by a river bend, watching that sunset fade again. That old dog lays with his head on my knee, like he knows this road belongs to me. Truck bed holes every mile I've known, from broken fences to roads back home. Some folks chase dreams in a sunset glow. Me and that truck just take it slow. Years roll by like white lines on a road. Truck still running, though we're both getting old. Dog's muzzle gray, but he still runs free. Still jumps in the cab every time he sees me. Someday the wheels might finally stop, and that old dog might take his last walk. But until that day, I'll thank God above for an old C10 and that faithful dog's love. All I need in life is my C10 Chevy. Four wheels rolling down a dusty back road rut, and my dog riding next to me through the wind and sun. Two best friends when the day is done. No fancy house, no silver or gold, just a truck and a heart that's whole. If the good Lord asked what makes my life enough, I'll say my C10 Chevy and my faithful dog.
There you go, guys. All I need is my C10 Chevy and my dog. And sometimes that's all you do need right there. Hello, Tony Janetta. How you doing, my friend? Ellie, have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in. Tony, I tell you what, man, get that old Wildcat going, bro. I want to see it running. Man. Look forward to seeing you on the 31st, too, my brother. Thanks for all your help. The next song up right here before we go, is called the C10 That Time Forgot. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
1968, on a summer afternoon, he drove it off the lot beneath a bright July moon. Brand new Chevrolet, shining red and clean, 350 under hood and that long bed C10 dream. Just a working man with a family and a plan, steel-toed boots and calloused hands. 2 months later, fate knocked hard on the door. A job site accident took him from this world. And that C10 sat in a barn out back, dust on the hood and cobwebs in the cracks. 50 long years where the daylight forgot. A brand new truck the world never got. 730 miles on the dial, frozen in time like a photograph file. Under that dust was a story untold, a C10 that time forgot to grow old. His widow closed the doors and tried to move on. Some memories you buried just to stay strong. Years rolled by like the turning of a page, but that Chevy never felt another age. Hay bales stacked and the seasons rolled by, snow on the roof and the years stacked high. But under that dirt in the barnyard rot sat a piece of history the world forgot. Yeah, that C10 sat in a barn out back, dust on the hood and cobwebs in the cracks. 50 long years where the daylight forgot. A brand new truck the world never got. 730 miles on the dial, seats still smelling factory fresh for a while. Under that dust was a story untold, a C10 that time forgot to grow old. One Sunday morning in the classifieds, a tiny little lad caught somebody's eye. It simply read in faded typeface font, time capsule truck for sale, come if you want. When he opened the door and the light poured in, that Chevy looked like 1968 again. Dirty old paint, but the shine still fought, a sleeping legend the years forgot. He hauled it home on a borrowed trailer, said this old Chevy's worth the labor. Dropped the tank and ran new lines, fresh oil flowing for the very first time. New brake lines and a battery bright, cleaned that carburetor late one night. Every bolt and hose he fought for that C10 that time forgot. Now that C10 rolls down an old dirt road, carrying stories the decades hold. 730 miles and a second shot for a C10 that time forgot. Brand new seats and a wheel still tight, sun on the hood in the morning light. Some things fade and some things rot, but not that C10 that time forgot.
The old C10 that time forgot. All right, this next song up right here, ladies and gentlemen, is about our car show on the May 31st down in the Steel City town. We'll be right back here and get ready to talk to Mike Johnson. here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Steel City Car Show. Ooh, yeah, hosted by Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music. Trophies my pedal to the metal, set this caliber. Broadway Tavern and Grill, and Sunset Hot Rod and Custom. Come join Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music today. Seppi's Caligress, bringing the flavor your way. Come shining bright in that Steel City town. First ever car show, we're laying rubber down. Hot rods and classics rolling through the gate. Lost soul cars rumbling, sounding mighty great. Low riders gleaming, rat rods full of soul, engines singing loud as the good times roll. Cruising the Steel City, home in the sun. Pedal to the metal, yeah, the show's begun. Families and friends, everybody come see the finest rides rolling through the Steel City. Oh, yeah. May 31st, mark it on your calendar now. 9 in the morning, engines rumbling loud. 131 Broadway Avenue, the place to be, where the hot rods gather in the Steel City. Trophy shining bright when the judging is done. There's Dame and Crow and the votes are won. Friends and families cheering loud and proud as the fighters ride, stand out in the crowd. Cruising the Steel City, chrome in the sun. Pedal to the metal, families and friends, yeah, the show's begun. Cruising the Steel City, cruising the Steel City. Hot rods, classics, engines running free. Pedal to the metal, in the Steel City. Oh, welcome to the Steel City Car Show. Welcome to the Steel City Car Show.
There you go, Steel City Car Show. Carter, the Passover is a major Jewish holiday that remembers when God freed the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. So you can look that up. It's always in spring, and it's. I tell you what, Carter, if you want to know the real story, there's a show on TV that's coming up here this weekend, and it's called The Ten Commandments. Just watch that show, and it will explain a lot of of everything, really. So watch the Ten Commandments, and you'll really understand what it's all about. So we'll go from there. Okay. Anyway, we are very close to calling Mike Johnson here. We'll get a hold of him and talk to him. But let's just do a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back here in a minute on Pedal to the Metal Motors and Music.
Let's take a look at our new partner, 6'9" Graphics and Design. A small design and marketing company, big on personalized release. They work closely with you to get your business noticed, with graphics that stand out and grab attention. 6'9" Graphics and Design specializes in stickers, decals, and graphics for your hot rods, custom projects, so business marketing. They also offer logo design, brochure signs, business cards, banners, custom apparel, vehicle graphics, and much more. Remember, that's 6'9" Graphics and Design. Visit 69design.com or find them on Instagram at 69design. Need a pick-me-up to start your day. There's a place in Parker that'll get you going. Rise and Grind Coffee has bold espresso, strong coffee, smooth lattes, plus chai teas and cold. Smoothies, regular or decaf, whatever you're in the mood for. Hungry, grab a hot breakfast burrito or a fresh muffin, quick, simple, and ready to roll. Got something coming up, any event or party you're planning, they've got a portable coffee cart that brings the coffee right to you. Fresh drinks served on site. Local spot, good coffee, good people. Rise and Grind Coffee, fueling your day, one cup at a time.
Rise and Grind Coffee. I do love that coffee. It's good, man. And their car show season's starting up. Don't forget, guys, we have trucks and screwdrivers at the Black Eyed Pea in Castle Rock, Colorado on the 18th. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning till, I think it's till 11 or 12. And, man, I'll tell you what, it's the first one's usually the biggest. But we're all going to be down there, man. You can go in. You can get yourself $5 screwdrivers. You can get free. Anybody that enters in the car show gets a free giant. I mean, these cinnamon rolls look like hubcaps, man. They're huge. And our buddy Justin Goulet is the manager down there. He runs the place, and he puts this car show on, and it is happening. It really is. So if you get a chance and you ain't doing nothing on the 18th, run up to Castle Rock, Colorado to Trucks and Screwdrivers, man. You won't be disappointed. I'll guarantee you that. There'll be 50 to 75 cars easy in that small parking lot, and it's just such a good time. Good people, good friendships, and great food, man. I got to have a chicken fried steak, scrambled eggs, potatoes, whole wheat toast, no butter, and then you put a lot of green chili over the top of it. Oh, man, I eat it like I'm going to the electric chair, babies. I'll guarantee you that right now. It's so good. It's like the Colonel Sanders says, it's finger licking good for sure. I guarantee you that right now. Well, it's 7:08, and I think I've covered all the stuff that I need to cover. Let's do one more song here. Carter, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll kind of give you an idea in a song what kind of about Passover. It's kind of about Moses. So this is some songs that I'm working on for a friend of mine that's having a church service, and he wanted me to make him a couple of songs. So I'll be right back here. This is called On Holy Ground.
Across the desert sand they roam, a wandering tribe without a home. A shepherd climbed the mountain high, where fire was dancing in the sky. The wind grew still, the earth slowed down, for Moses stood on holy ground. On holy ground, on Sinai's side, where heaven's fire lit up the sky. God spoke in thunder, loud and clear, 10 sacred laws for all to hear, written in stone for all mankind, a holy covenant divine. The mountain shook with smoke and flame as Moses called the holy name. The Lord said, take these words below, so every soul on earth may know. Honor your God, do not betray, and walk with truth along the way. On holy ground, on Sinai's side, where heaven's fire lit up the sky. God spoke in thunder, loud and clear, 10 sacred laws for all to hear, written in stone for all mankind, a holy covenant divine. He carried down those tablets strong, but heard the sound of dancing songs. A golden idol raised in pride, where faith and truth had been denied. Moses cried out, who stands with me? Come walk the path where hearts are free. The idol fell into the flame. False gold could never bear God's name. The mountain thunder rolled once more as truth returned forevermore. On holy ground, on Sinai's side, the law of heaven was applied, a path for souls to walk in light, to choose the truth instead of night. And from that mountain voice so strong still calls the world to walk along. From Sinai's fire the word was given, a law to guide the road to heaven.
Good morning, or good evening, Wayne. How are you? Glad you were on there. So, Carter, basically what that was is when when Moses went up to Mount Sinai and received the Ten Commandments from God. And once again, just watch that show, and it will bring a lot of clarity. It's a long show, but it'll bring a lot of clarity into the story of Moses. So there you go, baby girl. That's I'm not saying that I'm a professional at it, but that's what I know for sure. So anyway, let's go ahead and call Bob and see what he's up to. What about Bob? Let's just see here. I mean Mike, not Bob. It's Mike. Hold on just a second here. Bob Johnson is a monster truck driver, or he has some stuff right here. Boy, Debbie, that's the truth. It's one of my favorite shows. I still watch it every year, guaranteed. Uh-oh. Let's see here. We're going to call Mike here. Okay. Okay, we're going to see if it's going to work here. Oh, yeah, we got tone. We got a dial tone.
Hello.
Mike, what you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm just sitting in my office waiting for your call.
Well, I hope you haven't been sitting too long. Maybe you were working on something where you could kind of pass the time a little bit.
I did. I finished up an exhaust job, and then I had some. We do a little. We started doing some chroming, Cosmochrome stuff, where it's kind of spray chrome, and
Right.
we don't. I haven't done enough of it to be really good at it to do it for other people yet, but I've got some parts that I'm redoing on my wife's 41 Buick and some other parts for a guy that I was doing for him. So I sprayed the base coat for that while I was waiting. So I got that all done. So
Well, good.
Hopefully get it.
So I was talking to a friend of mine who is a custom pinstriper here in town and stuff, and we were talking about this new chrome stuff coming out and stuff, and it's really amazing. But he said it's really hard to get to learn how to use it. Is that true?
Yeah, it's the prep is major. I mean, that's a major thing. And then it's just the steps you got to go through to make it so when you apply the chemicals that it turns out right. And we did, like I say, we did a whole bunch of the parts on my wife's 41 Buick, and
Uh-huh.
and they turned out good. Some of the that pop metal chrome, or from the old days,
Right.
had the pits in it, and some of those came back through. So I'm redoing some of the parts, but she was quite angry that I took parts off the car when she could have just drove it the way it was. But I said she's got a couple weeks yet. I'll put it back together. So
Right, exactly. So,
Yep.
so Mike, for the pits and stuff, what do you have to do to get them pits? You got to sand them out, or what do you got to do?
Well, I sanded them out and got it all smooth, and I didn't. What I should have done is sprayed it with like an epoxy primer to seal it all up, and I didn't. And
Uh-huh.
the Cosmochrome uses a ton of water. I mean, everything gets washed with water over and over and over again. And the regular primer, the high build primer that I sprayed on it, must have absorbed the water. Well, they just got back down in the pits, and it creates like a gas when it starts rusting and corroding, and makes like a bubble. You've seen it on cars,
Oh,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
a rust bubble. That's what's going on. It's just a gas under there. So
Right.
yeah, I needed to. You gotta seal it off and stop it from growing. So
Sure. Well, we had to come
Yep.
up with something because all the EPA rules that are shutting everything. See you later, Sam Ditto. All the EPA rules that are shutting all of our chrome shops down. I don't know back about in Wisconsin area, but out here in Colorado, we've lost all of our chrome shops. I think the closest one we have is in Utah, and then of course you got California and stuff like that, and I think Arizona has some, but we've lost all of them out here.
yeah, there's still a few around here. There's one really good one up in northern Wisconsin. I mean, they do show quality, super nice chrome. If I was building a show car, I'd definitely have them do it before I
Right.
would even do my spray chrome stuff. Because the spray chrome's great for our cars. It's drivers, it's easy. I can get it done. and if something happens to it, I can fix it.
Sure.
But if you're going to take your car to a show and have it judged for a big time show, you definitely want to go to one of those shops. And like I say, the one that's here in Wisconsin is really good.
Right.
But
S-
yeah, it's
s-
all time consuming too. You take something there. It's a 4 to 6 month wait usually.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And that's something you got to plan over the wintertime. Your car's down and you can't do anything, and
yep.
it is. It's a long process. So I know you're new in the business with doing it and stuff, but what do you think the longevity of this spray chrome is going to be?
I have no idea yet. We like I say, we sprayed the stuff that was on my wife's Buick, and we drove that car from here to Vegas last year. We drove it out to Viva Las Vegas,
Uh
and
huh.
and it all held up good. The front bumper was that's actually what I'm redoing because I wanted to fill the holes and make it a smooth bumper
Uh huh.
instead of seeing the bumper bolts. But I mean, for as far as road chips and things like that, the stuff held up really good. So it's just besides the some of the rust coming back through from underneath, from those pits and things, and like on the grill and a few of the handles and stuff. But I think it's pretty tough. It's as tough as paint. So
Well,
you know, it, it's car paint's it's pretty durable. So
yeah. Well, I mean, and there's so you spray like a gloss black coat underneath before you spray the chrome on, or what do you do?
it's a special base coat that's made for the chrome.
Uh huh.
That's actually what causes the chemical reaction that makes it chrome is that base coat. It's their own stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. It's different than regular. It sprays just like regular automotive paint, but
Uh huh.
it yeah, it's a base coat, and then you got to let that dry, and you can either bake it or you let it sit 24 hours, and then you do the chemical process, which is like 4 or 5 steps of water, then uh, activator, then the two parts that spray together that makes it chrome, and then water again, and then a sealer, and then you got to let it sit for a half an hour, and then you spray a clear coat on it that supposedly keeps it from yellowing. So
Oh wow.
um, yeah, I mean, it's quite a process, but it's all, it's the I don't know what the normal chemicals that are in it, are just the automotive paint and the clear coat and stuff like that, like automotive base coat, whatever their stuff is. But
Uh huh.
the majority of it is distilled water is what you use. So
Well,
and
so
you use tons of it. So
it's a water base, or is it like a lacquer or enamel, or what is it?
I would say that the base coat is more like a enamel, like an acrylic enamel,
Uh
and
huh.
then the clear you put on it would be like a clear coat regular automotive clear coat.
Uh huh.
It's got UV protecting in it,
Right.
and then but the other chemicals are just mixed with the distilled water.
Wow.
So yeah, it's quite a deal. When we first couple of things we did, I don't know if you go on my Facebook page, you can look back and see about this same time last year we were doing some parts, and you can watch it in those videos turn into chrome. And boy, did it look good right away. And like I say, I wish we had covered those pits up a little better, seal them up so they wouldn't grow. So
Right,
yep,
exactly. Well,
yep.
anymore with the cost of parts and supplies and stuff like that, anytime a guy can cut corners on a and save money on a build and still come out where it looks good, you gotta be able to adapt and go into that kind of a business.
Well, and that's what I mean. The cars we build for that I build for myself and that I build for me and my wife and most of my buddies that come over and we work on our cars or on their cars here. They just we drive the heck out of them. So
Right.
it's if it doesn't need to be. They're good looking cars and we do a good job on them. Don't get me wrong there, but the it just we put so many miles on them. It's like in the summertime as soon as the salt's off the roads, we put a ton of salt on the roads here in
Right.
Wisconsin, and
Uh-huh.
as soon as that stuff's washed off, though, people have their old cars out, especially the group I run with. They drive them everywhere, so got
Right.
more miles on them than most people's dailies. So
Right. No, that's the truth, man. I mean, that's what I do with mine. I got a 73 C10 and it's it's a driver. I don't care. I live
yep,
on a dirt road. I have a really factory patina paint job. It's not. I mean, it's real patina. And so if I get a little more patina on it, it doesn't make any difference to me, you know. And
Yep.
it just it's just that's what they're made for, you know. I had a trailer queen at one time, and if I went outside and I looked up in the air and there was one little cloud, I wouldn't take it out. And I thought, you know, what is the use of having a car like this if you can't enjoy it, you know, and let people see it? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, the biggest enjoy it, and then the people that walk up and look at it when you're parked in a, like when my wife drives her car to work, and the people walk up and they're like, "Wow, look at that old car," you know, and the
Right.
1941 Buick sitting in the parking lot with a bunch of, I call them civilian vehicles, you know, the daily drivers. Yeah. So
Well, Mike,
yeah.
what started you in the business? How old were you when you started
Oh,
getting into the business, and who was your, you know, was it when you were young? Your dad was in the business, or what
uh,
was it?
well, I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandpa passed away when I was 11, so it was just me and my grandma.
Uh huh.
And she took me out to the local salvage yard who she was friends with, Morrison's Auto Salvage, which is in Edgerton, Wisconsin, and they're a family-run business, and they knew everybody in town, and my grandma was friends with them, and grandma and grandpa were, and she asked Bob, the owner, Bob Morrison, if had any work for me when I was about 14, and he said, "Sure, drop him off tomorrow morning. We'll find something for him to do." So there it was. I was kind of getting into the cars before that. You know, of course, I had you know, Hot Rod magazine, and you know, looking at all the books and race car stuff, you know, and putting models together. And I always liked cars, and the movie American Graffiti. I seen that when I was young. And
Oh yeah.
of course, if you look at my page, I've got a Milner lookalike
You
coupe that I
do.
built.
You do.
Oh yeah,
I
I
love
built
it,
it.
man.
I built it back. That first one I built in about 2001, and it's been rebuilt a couple times. But
Huh.
anyway, yeah, I just went to work at the salvage yard, and that's where it went. And I started racing stock car, and it just, I always wanted to work for myself. I worked for many people in between, but let's see, me and a friend of mine started an auto parts store in like 2006,
Uh huh.
and we opened one up, and we ran that quite a few years. And always we'd be working late on the race car, and before that, and I always said it'd be nice to own an auto parts store, so when I need something at midnight I can go get it.
Yeah.
And after I owned the auto parts store, I went, boy, this sucks owning an auto parts store. And it's that's I'm not the general public is great, but the general public will wear you out.
Oh, they
And
do, man. They do.
I just yeah, that's what it. And I still, you know, the shop where I'm at now, it's still deal with the public and all this stuff and everything. And but it's all, it was it was a lot to handle all at once, you know, dealing with that every day,
Sure.
and nonstop, and phone never stops ringing. And yeah, it was it was something, but it was an experience for sure. We made it 8 years in business partnership together, so it
That's pretty good.
uh, yeah, most business partnerships don't last that long, from what I hear. You know,
No, they don't.
good friend of mine told me, he said partners are good for one thing, and that's dancing.
Well, that's a good synopsis. I'll guarantee you that right now,
It-
because
yeah,
it's not. I got into business down in Texas with a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and we ended up in court, and now we don't. I mean, we are bitter enemies to this day, and that's been 17 years ago. But it's just the way it is, you know. But you know,
yeah,
you
we
go ahead.
no, well, I sold my half of the company out to my business partner, and we kind of ended on good terms. So
Well,
him and
that's
I
good.
still talk, and we'll have a beer together if we see each other at a car show or something, and everything's good. He was a little bit older than me. He's retired now, so
Uh
he's
huh.
living the good life. So
Well, that's good. And Jay Bozart's on here. He's watching the show tonight, and he said Dale Earnhardt approved parts.
yeah, when I had the auto parts store, Jay worked for one of the biggest repair shop in Edgerton, and
Uh
really
huh.
good shop. And the owner, he's kind of hot headed sometimes, and he had said something about one of the parts, they weren't quality parts. So I went online and I made this little sticker on the computer in about 5 minutes, and I had Dale Earnhardt giving thumbs up, and I I started taping them on. I started taping them on the parts when we take them up to the shop, and they were Dale Earnhardt approved parts.
Oh,
I said,
that's
well, they got
funny.
to be good.
Yeah, they
So
got to be good.
yeah,
Dale wouldn't put his thumbs up on anything that wasn't.
right.
Oh man. So when you go to the shows with your car and stuff, you get a lot of questions about American graffiti and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that was you know, I knew that there was a probably the most copied car out there, and I built mine pretty close, but I did my own touches on it. It's kind of that was the how John Milner, he supposedly in the movie, the way it's portrayed, he built the car. So
Yeah.
I did it my way. I copied it for the most part, but I did a few things my way, and those guys that build them right to the T that are the exact ones, they get hauled on trailers, and mine's been driven from here to South Dakota twice. We drove it out to Deadwood to the car show out there
Oh,
twice.
and that's a fun place.
It's Yeah, and I mean, I drive my car and I've raced it a few times, and so I'll answer questions. I did a lot of research on the car, and I know what a lot of what the movie car had, but things on mine are a little different. And the best thing was we drove it out to Deadwood, South Dakota many years ago, and the first time I drove it out there, and I met Henry Travers out there, and he was the transportation engineer for American Graffiti. I
Uh-huh.
actually got my picture. I got my picture with him, and he was a wealth of knowledge. He mailed me some stuff and some autographed pictures, and it was pretty neat to talk to him for a while and learn about the cars and how they weren't really that nice of cars. It was on TV. They look good.
Oh yeah.
They look good on TV, but they were they were yeah, just kind of thrown together. So
They called that putting lipstick on a pig.
yep, yeah, yeah.
That's what they say up here anyway.
He told us the story of them guys. Supposedly they chopped that. According to him, they chopped that mercury in like a
No
week and a
way.
half.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he goes, it was nonstop nights working on it, and day and night. And they said they chopped that thing. It didn't even have any glass in most of the car for the movie. And
Uh-huh.
if you look closer, I don't think there's a back window in it, if I remember his story right,
Oh
in the
wow.
movie. So yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, the car culture, no matter where you go, there's 80% of the people that love it, then you got the rest that kind of want to pick it apart and stuff like that. But they're they don't even have cars. You get to find out that most of them don't. They just think they're enthusiasts and know everything about them, and you know. But for the regular car people, they're like, "Oh, that is really a cool tribute car, man," and that's what
yep,
I love about it, and that's everywhere you go.
yep, yep, and yeah, that's what I say. People know what it is when they look at it. Sure, it's not an exact copy, but it's pretty close, and it gets kind of crazy sometimes. Like people see a yellow car and immediately think of American Graffiti. That's where immediate where their mind goes, and
Right.
and uh, I guess that's a good thing. And sometimes I laugh at it because the car that they're pointing out isn't even close to the 32 Ford, and, we've had quite a few laughs at it where somebody said, "Oh, that's like a Milner coupe," and I'm like, "No, it's not." But okay, but yeah, so
There's a gentleman on here, and I'm not even begin to pronounce his last name, but his first name is Brian, and I'm going to just say Hohenstein.
oh yeah.
Is that right? Is that
Oh, it's pretty close to that, Honesty.
Honesty?
Yep,
Okay, Honesty.
yep,
And he said, "Who is that dumb blank that does
yeah,
exhaust?"
yep.
That
Oh
must be
yeah,
a friend of yours poking fun at you, huh?
oh yeah, that's exactly him for sure. He's a good friend. He hangs out over here, and yeah, he's I don't know what he does for a living. I think he just screws off most of the time, but
I think it'd be a lot of fun around your shop. It sounds like
oh
there's a lot of ribbon going along around there.
oh yeah, for sure. And we always have I've got a bar attached to my shop. It's not open to the public, but the public comes
Perfect.
out here and public comes out here and hangs out. It's called the Eagle Tap, and usually Thursday nights is Thirsty Thursday, and the boys will stop by, and sometimes we work on stuff, and other times we just, kind of give each other a heck and pick on each other's stuff, and that's about it. So
Brian says he's a root beer forklift certified.
yep, he definitely is that for sure. So yep.
Oh man, I was looking on your page, and I noticed that you have worked on a few 61, 62 model Chevys in there.
Oh yeah.
Bubble tops and stuff. I love the body style of the car. That's why they drew my attention to that. Are those friends of yours cars?
So the bubble top ones, there's a guy from Rockford, which is about an hour ride from here. They own a construction company, but one of the owners, he buys and sells cars at the Mecum auctions.
Uh-huh.
And he'll buy them and then give them a little. He doesn't build them from scratch, but he does his little touch to them, makes them extra nice, and then resells them. And he gets into knowing what cars will bring on good money. And those bubble top cars were his that he brought up here, and he always has everyone before they go to Mecum. He brings them up and has me put new exhaust on them for him. So he always likes to just make them sound good and have brand new exhaust on them for the auction. So
let's see.
Yeah, it's
Bruce Windorf's on here, and he says Thursdays are a good time. I'm too far away though.
Yeah, he lives a ways away, and it's all. I mean, Bruce isn't a drinker, but he's definitely a good time, and it's always laughs to hang out. We get quite a few guys that stop by, and they don't drink anymore, but they still like to enjoy the laughs and the stories. So
I bet you there's some good stories.
Oh man, depends on how late you stay.
Is there a shutdown time, or does it go all night long?
I try to be out of here by midnight. Usually it's been a little sooner than that lately. I don't, and but yeah, there's been nights that it's been starting to get light out again. So
yeah, exactly. And it's been cold up there too. You guys had a little weather, haven't you?
Yeah. It was nice earlier in the week. It's cold again, but it's going to warm back up. I think we're getting through it now. Days will start to get better. So.
Yeah, we just started car show season here in Colorado, and this weekend is we usually have a first Friday every month down in Elizabeth, Colorado at the Sonic, but it looks like Mother Nature's not going to let us do that this week. I think we're supposed to get some rain and snow, and that'll stop a lot of people from going for sure.
Yeah. Our car club's got the Tired Iron is our car club, and it was started by a couple old. One was the true greaser that you could have ever seen, Pete Seitz. Him and his best friend Bill Collins, they kind of started Tired Iron, and we took it over in about 2021 or 22, something like that, and we started doing. They used to do just a Wednesday night cruise night, and then they were doing a swap meet and stuff. And we've been doing some different stuff. We still do our Wednesday night cruise nights out at Albion Park, but then. We've been doing a couple shows during the summer, and we do an end of the winter dance party. We always try to do it the first weekend in April, and we've got one coming up this Saturday. We've got a polka band hired, and it's going to be polka themed, and it'll be really fun. It'll be a good time. So
how many cars do you expect on something like that?
If it was nice out, you'd probably get, that we really don't advertise it as being a car show for that.
Right.
Just because you can never trust the weather the first weekend in April.
Right.
But if it was nice out, you'd still get 10, 15 cars. But, our Wednesday night cruise night, we do a second Wednesday of every month throughout the summer. And if it's nice out, it's 300 cars.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it's 300 easy. It's anywhere from, we've had 340, 350, you couldn't find a place to park them in the park out there. It was just the girls, we sell food out of the concession stand, and we open the door to selling food at 5:00, and they're usually selling the last hamburger at 6:15.
Oh, my
so you sell out of food in an hour, so.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's free to get in. You just come out there and hang out, and it's from 5 till whenever you want to leave, and people just talk and share good stories and show their old cars off.
Right. And there's probably a lot of cool old cars out in Wisconsin area.
You get them, and like our Wednesday night thing, you'll get them from all over too. Cars that, I mean, almost every month I see something that I haven't seen before, haven't looked at. I was like, wow, and I haven't seen that before. Where'd that come from?
That's amazing.
Yep, yep.
I'm
So,
getting ready to do my very first car show this year down in my hometown in Pueblo, Colorado, and I opened up registration 2.5 weeks ago, maybe three already, but it's been full already a whole week. We sold it out already,
wow,
and it's at
nice.
my dad's standard station that we owned in the '60s, where he opened his first car lot, and it's a bread company now, but they still left the Standard Oil theme and stuff, and so
Oh,
we're
good to,
gonna have my very first show. So I'm excited about that.
that'll be nice. Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be a
sounds
good
good.
time. You need to come, Mike. Get in your car and come on
Yeah.
down, man.
Well, yeah, we definitely were.
That would
My
be a
wife and I
drive.
were not afraid to travel, but yeah.
That'd be a drive
So,
for sure.
yeah, yeah.
So, what are you working on in the shop right now?
Well, like today, I worked on mostly civilian vehicles all day today that I did exhaust on, and I had Chevy truck here at the end of the night. But for my own stuff, I've got a 1938 Mack pickup truck. There's
Oh,
only like 50,
wow.
there's only like 50 of them left in existence. 51, I think, is what the museum says. There's probably a few more floating around, but the ones they have on record anyway. And
Uh huh.
it's super rare, but it was in really rough condition, and I'm gonna try to make it as nice as I can. I'm doing a few things that I want to do different to it. So not the body wise on the outside, it's still gonna look like the Mack pickup, but I'm changing up the chassis and the drivetrain a little bit so it'll go down the highway faster than 30.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well, yeah. That's makes for a long road trip if you don't.
yeah, and then we've got a member of the car club, Patrick and his dad. They've got a 55 Nomad that they're switching from a 350 to an LS engine. So that's in the back corner. I told them they could use the hoist to work on it, and we'd help them out. We've done, quite a few of those LS swaps, and especially on the Tri Fives, we've done a bunch of them. Derek, a friend of mine that's in the car club, he helps a ton with them. So
Uh huh.
works out good. Him and I work good together, and we can make those do those LS swaps pretty quick in those Tri Fives, and yeah, some people hate it, but I'm telling you, if you're gonna put the miles on your car that we do, you can't beat it. And if you have a problem with it, you can buy the part for the engine at any auto parts store you stop at.
Yeah,
So
that's the truth, man. Guaranteed.
it's, I mean, we use the Chevy truck engines, and they, like I say, if your water pump goes out or alternator or any of that stuff, you just pull in any auto parts store and they have three choices for you. So
Yeah, guaranteed.
yeah.
Now, do you put like a 700 R4 behind them, or what do you use for
the
transmission?
the more, well, like a few of them we built, like two of mine have stick shifts behind them, like NV 3500
Uh huh.
5-speed transmissions.
Okay.
My wife's car's got the 4L60 that was
Right.
behind it when it come out of the van.
Uh huh.
Um, um, they some guys run a 4L80 because they want them to be stronger, and but yeah, we just try to find, we're salvage yard guys, so we find stuff that's running and working and put it together. So
Right. Now, are you guys, when you're doing these LS swaps and stuff, are you putting cams and stuff in them and hot rodding them up, or are you just taking them and putting them in the vehicles?
all the ones we've done have been, change some gaskets, change the oil pan, but they've all been just stock engines.
Uh
Haven't done
huh.
anything else with them. I even threatened a couple of the buddies. I said, if you're gonna put cam in it and do all kinds of stuff, I'm not helping you with it.
Well,
that
that
was the big that was a big joke. I said I like them. I said we build them to drive them around and never open the hood. So that's what we do with them. So
Uh huh. So you
yeah.
think that the LS is still a pretty popular motor then for the
It,
hot rod community?
like I say, it is. It's super popular. The guys are people are doing it, and I know there's the haters out there. But if you, like I was telling a guy, in the '80s, everything had a small block Chevy in it. In
Sure.
the '70s, and I mean Ford pickups, and guys would
That's the
build a
truth.
they'd build a '50s Ford pickup and put a small block Chevy in it,
Yeah.
they put that in. It's just because it's easy. It's the easy way to go, and you can struggle along and have something different, which is cool. But there's nothing wrong with putting a Y block in a hot rod, or whatever. But yeah, I just if we're gonna build something that you're just gonna jump in and hit the key and go, the engine's the way to go.
Sure, sure. I got a friend out here that has a 62 bubble top, and he's a member of the Night Owls Car Club, and he's got a Hemi in that. And
Yeah,
it's beautiful. I mean, and you look and you open it up and stuff like that, but and then even if my little truck that I have, my 73, I put a 396 big block in it, and
yep,
I mean, the only reason I did that was because it was a tribute because my dad liked the 396, and I built the truck for him. And
yep.
but I was thinking about putting an LS motor in it, but I never did. I never did at all.
It's a big step. Everybody thinks you just put it in there, but you need a whole different fuel system, and you need the ECU and the wire harness and the to control it and everything. So
Right.
it's not just. And they mount a little different, and the manifolds are in a little different spot, and all the exhausts, things that normally fit for with a small block. You need a little more room with that, but it's definitely the way I would say the majority of the culture is going. They're bolting them in. They make thousands of parts for them, and like I say, it's just like the old days of the small and big block Chevy.
Right.
Every the stuff was right at fingertips. You could get it, easy from anywhere. So
Right. Exactly. Brian says, or put a 6.2 diesel in an Edsel.
yeah, he's got a 6.2 diesel and an Edsel,
Well,
but
that's kind of cool. I mean, that's unique. I mean, that's cool.
oh, it's very unique. It's there's pictures of it shooting fire out of the fender, so it's it's very unique for sure.
Yeah. I remember as a kid driving down the highway with my dad in our Dodge car hauler. It was an old Dodge cab over, and it had a 250 Cummins in it. And you'd look up in the out of the stack at night, and there'd be a little blue flame up there running around. That I always thought that was the coolest thing when I was a kid. So, uh,
Yep, yep.
and there's some people out there that do a lot with diesels. There really are.
Oh yeah, so that little Mack pickup truck, I'm going to put a 453T, a little Detroit diesel in that.
Okay.
It's a little four-cylinder,
Yeah,
53 series Detroit. Yep.
yeah, that'll be cool.
And it's an older engine, but the Detroits have been around. The way it came about is I just couldn't. We were here working on it one night, and I almost got to the point I'm like, well, heck with it, I'll just put a LS engine in it and just leave the hood shut. And we talking about, I just couldn't bring myself to doing it. I said, it's a Mack, it's got to have a diesel in it,
Right.
you know. And I had this little 453T, and I figured, well, I'll took it up to the diesel shop and had them go through it, and so hopefully I can get some work going on that and start putting it back together, and it'll be a neat little truck.
Now that 450T was that like a industrial motor, forklift motor, or something like that? What did those go?
They made them they put them in everything, everything from a power unit to up to, but mine, the one I have, was in a truck. It was in like a medium duty GMC C70, like a big truck,
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah, it was it had 5-speed transmission behind it.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe with it loaded with corn or whatever box it had on, because when I got it, it didn't have no box on it, but so I don't know what it was used for, but I can't believe it was any fun to drive because it couldn't have had enough power to do much. So
Right. Probably just a basic 5-speed or a 5 and a 2-speed transmission, maybe something like
yeah,
that.
it had a 2-speed rear end, so yeah,
Uh-huh.
it had 5-speed and a 2-speed rear end. So
Yeah. Are you gonna? What kind of transmission are you gonna run in your Mac?
I'm gonna run that 5-speed that it was hooked to in there,
Oh,
but
there
I've
you
got
go.
I got a rear end, and I actually got it from Brian, who's commenting on there. I got it from
Uh-huh.
him that it's got a tall gear in it, so hopefully it'll have some good highway speed. So
Well, that's good. Are you gonna do
yep.
anything with it? Like, is it a 3/4 ton? Is it a 1 ton or half ton? What
it's
is it?
so it's a single wheel, but
Okay.
it would have been considered like a either a really heavy 3/4 ton or a 1 ton truck for its day.
Okay.
I'm thinking single wheel probably would have been more considered a 3/4 ton truck, but
Uh-huh.
it still had like the spoke wheels, the Dayton
Yeah,
type
the Dayton
wheels.
wheel. I like them. I love
Yeah,
those wheels.
yeah. I mean, it's obviously I'm not going to have them on there because I can't find brakes for it and all that stuff. Well, you can, but you can have people make them. But it's just at the end of the day, I didn't want to rebuild that front axle and do all that, so it's got a normal. It'll just be normal 8 lug, and I'm going to try to get the Mac hubcap to fit on there so it covers it up. But
Uh-huh.
but yeah, it would have from the factory. It had those Dayton wheels on it, and it was a straight six, flathead six with a like a 4-speed transmission in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was actually sold new to the California Forestry Department. Mac's good about keeping records of their trucks, and I contacted the Mac Museum with the serial number, and they sent me a whole bunch of information and pictures of it when it was new and everything.
Oh,
So
wow. Was it
kind of neat.
forest green?
No, it was red and black, and
Really?
yeah, so back then Max came either green or red, and
Right.
it was red with black fenders supposedly. So
Huh.
yeah, I don't know why that was. It ended up yellow somewhere in its lifetime, and it's yellow now, but it won't be. I'm gonna paint it the original Mac green, but with black fenders is my plan.
But
So
that's a beautiful color concept. I like that color
yep,
concept a lot. I really do. It's just it really means more Mac to me than any other color on there. I didn't even know they did a red and black one.
yep, yeah, and that's uh an old friend of mine told me one time. He said Macs all came from the factory at one time. They were all green, every single one of them, and they got painted at the dealership when they if they wanted a red one. And I don't know if there's any truth to that story or not, but he said there was a time they came green, and that's what they were.
Yeah, that's the truth. Does it have the bulldog on the hood?
Oh yeah, yep,
Oh yeah.
yep. So yeah, it's a 38. The bulldog came out in 32.
Uh huh.
So yep.
Well, that's cool, Mike. I mean, that's. I'd like to see pictures of that, and you'll have that on your
Oh
website
yeah.
when it's all done. I would imagine, right?
Yep, yep. If you want to check anything out, you can go check out the Mike's Custom Exhaust and Hot Rod Shop and Facebook, and it's got my logo and that logo of my header that's in the picture. That's the header that's on my Milner coupe because I built those myself. So
Oh wow, cool.
yep.
So what was the funnest car you've ever worked on?
I don't know. I don't know if there's one I could put a something to. The most recent one was we built my wife's 41 Buick last year,
Uh huh.
finished it up about this same time. We actually, when we drove that car to Viva Las Vegas, I finished it Saturday night and actually took it for a ride Saturday night. I put the dash in it Saturday night, and we left Sunday morning for Vegas.
Wow.
So that was the first. It had one road trip to town. Took it to town and went out to eat and drove it back and loaded it up with the next morning with our luggage and took off. So that was the most probably memorable and uh, most fun one. I mean, it was stressful at the time, but it was fun when it was over. So,
Right.
um, some of the other memories I had. We went on the Hot Rod Power Tour. Me and Wilbur, really good buddy of mine, and done a lot of stuff together. You'd have to do a documentary if you wanted to listen to our stories. And him and I went on the Hot Rod Power Tour one year. He had a Nova, and the torque converter cracked. We pulled the transmission out
Wow.
over a ditch in West Virginia. We pulled the transmission and took the torque converter out, and we took it to a repair shop that had like an exhaust shop in it. And they had like a 5 bay shop. They were pretty big in that little town we were broke down in.
Uh huh.
And friend of mine, he's passed away now, Dave Hasman. He was a world-known welder. He welded that thing, and we put it back in the car while it was still hot, and the car was going, and Wilbur drove it all the way home, all the way back to Wisconsin from West
Wow.
Virginia. there was a there's a picture of me in Hot Rod magazine under Wilbur's car, and you can see my feet sticking out from under it when we were pulling
In the ditch.
in the ditch. Yep. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That is
Yep.
amazing. So, you've had did you start off just with the hot rod shop and stuff, or did you start off with the exhaust shop?
I started trying to do, originally when I went on my own and when I was doing it on the side, I was doing everything, everything with brakes. I was working on normal cars and hot rods and, doing whatever. I do suspensions and do disc brake upgrades and things like that on the side. And then I'd keep working on what I call civilian vehicles. And then when we had the auto parts store, I just did exhausts at the auto parts store, and then I worked on stuff on the side in my own shop here at home.
Uh-huh.
When I sold out of the auto parts store, I started doing everything, and I'm just one guy, and a guy can really bury himself in a hurry,
Very fast. Very fast.
just trying to do everything.
Yeah.
And right now I've got it to the point where I'll help you with stuff if and give you pointers and putting a engine in your car and what's like stuff like that. But I stick to trying to, for customers, I've been just doing the exhaust thing and easier stuff. If you need we are doing a few of these LS swaps and stuff like that, but you got to be knowing that it's not going to get done in 2 days. That we're gonna have it a couple weeks, and it's just me and a couple of the buddies that are going to work on it at night and things like that, because the phone never stops ringing for exhaust. There used to be an exhaust shop on every corner in every town, and sometimes two or three of them, and they're just they're not around anymore. And you take your civilian car, like I call it, to a shop because it's got an exhaust leak. Well, they want to replace everything from the engine back, and
they do.
Thousands of dollars. And I'm like, well, I can cut this section out and weld in a piece, or I can fix that flange, or I can put a muffler on your old farm truck for you for where the normal shops, they're all they can do is bolt parts on anymore. I don't think they let them weld or bend pipe or anything. So
yeah,
just,
there's very few shops like that. Now up there with the salt and stuff on the roads and stuff, is that why you stay really busy with the exhaust stuff and all that?
yeah. And my dad always told me, he says, well, exhaust, how are you gonna be so busy doing that? The exhaust on the new cars is stainless steel, and well, they've all got flanges and little flex joints they put in them and all that stuff, and it's stuff that wears out, and it does get rusty and corroded and breaks, and the people run their cars till they run them right to the end. So like this week I fixed exhaust on a couple of cars that like 2003 era cars to early 2000s, and the exhaust is rusty.
Right.
Things just the engines, they make so much moisture that they rust the mufflers and stuff from the inside out. Even though they're stainless, they're not. It's not that they're not pure stainless, so they still do corrode and rust and bolts and things like that. You always have trouble with stuff like that. So
right. So if a guy like myself would come into your shop and say, let's just use my truck for an example, and I'd tell you, okay, Mike, I want a 3-inch exhaust. I want it to go straight back. I don't need an X pipe or nothing like that. Straight back over the axles, and I want it to dump out right behind the headers like the Camaros do and stuff like that. Number one question is, what muffler would you recommend that somebody with a big block would run?
Well, the first thing I would do is I'd ask you is, how loud do you want it? Obviously,
Right.
3-inch, it's going to be louder. So,
Yep.
so then, like my supplier, where I get all my pipe and my mufflers from, they carry Flowmaster and MagnaFlow,
Yeah.
and those are the 1 and 2 mufflers I sell the most of.
Uh-huh.
I put Flowmasters on all those cars for my buddy that takes them to Meekum. Every single one of them gets Flowmasters on it, just because he likes that muscle car sound.
Yep, exactly.
And the MagnaFlow is a little mellower, I would say, and it a little better going down the highway for the most part. It's not so rappy, so that's still straight through, and it's a performance muffler.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I would ask you. What do you want to do? And
Right.
those are the top two. And a lot of there's still we get some people, they want that old school sound, so we put glass packs on them and a little bit smaller pipe and try to make it 60s sounding.
Yeah.
So there's still quite a bit of that, and I've installed a lot of the Porter mufflers. I have a hard time Porter mufflers are great, but I just have a hard time. Some of my clients they're cheap, and they want they don't want to spend the money on them, so
Right.
they're. But I put Porter mufflers on my wife's Buick, and I think it sounds great.
Uh-huh.
I've got a couple other ones that I've installed them, and they really have a good sound to them for that older school, that older, that '60s sound. And,
Yeah, exactly.
yep. But
So I had the company up here. They're pretty big up here in Colorado called Exhaust Pro, and
yep,
they have their own version of the Flowmaster. And
yep.
I wanted Flowmasters on my truck, and he said, "Well, we got one that's just like." And I said, "Is it gonna sound like a Flowmaster?" And he goes, "Oh yes, identical, identical."
Yep.
And it doesn't. I don't think it does. I
And
I have a rat when I when I get on the truck. It's like I want to say a clatter sound more than anything. It's more of a like a brrr,
like a
than that
like a
deep.
tinny
Yeah,
a
exactly.
tinny sound.
Exactly. You nailed it right there.
So they make some off-brand Flowmasters and MagnaFlows, and you got to watch which ones you buy.
Uh
And
huh.
there's ones that are built the same way, but they're not built out of the same thickness of material. They're not as heavy as the Flowmasters, and
Uh
those
huh.
are the ones that you get that tinny sound, and they're not the same.
Yeah.
Um, there's a there's an off-brand one that I use quite a bit that when the guys want to be a little less to save a little cost, and that one it's getting harder to get because I, I don't think many places are carrying it anymore, and my exhaust company is actually starting to not carry as many of them.
Uh huh.
And but they were built heavy. They were, if you laid them side by side with a Flowmaster, besides not being stamped Flowmaster, you couldn't tell the difference.
Exactly.
Where those I want to say there's ones that are thinner material they sell out there that you can tell the difference. If you laid them on the bench by each other, you can tell that, hey, this is Flowmaster and this is not.
Uh huh.
It's cheapened up version, and those definitely do not sound the same. And
Mm.
whatever, I'm not sure which ones they used, but if they use like one of them off-brand $30 ones, they're not the same.
Right.
So
Well, when of course, I was on a budget, but I still wanted Flowmasters, and he said, "Well, we'd have to order them," and I wanted my truck done, and I just said, "Go ahead and put yours on there." Now at idle, the truck, I mean, you can hear the lope in the cam, and it sounds like a Camaro sitting there running. I mean, that's what I attribute it to is the Camaro sound, and of course, that's the wrong way to say it. Is it's just the 350 or the 396 sound, but it
yep,
has a great idle. It has a great idle, but the minute you get on it, it just makes me mad that I went that way. So I've had some people tell me to do the Flowmasters. Of course, that's what I want. But
yep.
I've had a couple people tell me to put that Flowmaster Diablo. But isn't that a little loud?
That'll be. I don't think you'll be very happy with it unless you want it super loud. That muffler is loud. And especially with over the years 396s. I don't know what it is about them, but there seem to be a louder engine for some
Uh
reason.
huh.
All the ones I've done, and yeah, it it'll be loud. I would recommend like the Super 40 series, because that's really. I put that Super 40 on a old '67 Suburban many years ago that it was bone stock 327 Suburban, um, 4-wheel drive, and the guy goes, I just want it to sound good, so he put 2.5-inch pipe on it with the Super 40 series, and man, that thing, the guy loves it. When he comes to our cruise nights and stuff, he's like, I go, how's the Suburban? Still sounds great, he says. and and I did that one in probably, I don't know, 2005 maybe. So
Wow.
yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, it
Now,
2005 or six. Yep.
is there a difference between a Flowmaster with an offset up front and a straight in the middle coming out the back, or
The that's not going to change this.
that's
It
not going
won't
to change?
change the sound.
Okay, all
No,
right. Because I got to have
no.
one that is, it's in the middle on both. It right in the middle for both of them. That's the way my exhaust sits, and I got to
Yeah,
have
that
that.
I haven't found that changes the sound any. it's just how you configure it underneath the truck or underneath the vehicle. Like a Chevelle, an offset to offset works perfect on Chevelles and that body style GM cars, and the Camaro's an offset to center works in my world from me doing what I do. So
Right.
other guys might find something else that works better, but I just have it the way I bend the pipe and the way I do it, that I've got it figured out. I guess you could say I started my girlfriend in high school. Her dad owned a muffler shop, so that's where it all came from. I hung out there, and that's where we worked on the stock car, and
Uh-huh.
and yeah, uh, always messing around in the muffler shop. So that's like I say, and just learned how to bend pipe and do it that. Used to bend it by the cards. Either you can look it up. I've got the card files to bend the exact tailpipes and stuff for certain cars,
Right.
but anymore I bend a tape measure around under there and just go at it.
Wow,
And,
that's pretty cool,
yep.
man. So, so you say the Super 40. I'm going to write that down because this is something that's getting done here real soon. I'm not going to go through another car season without
I
having
would
Super
try that.
4s on there.
I would
And stay away
I
from
would
the
try that
Diablo,
Super
huh?
40.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be too loud for you.
All right. Well, I don't
Super
want
40 Super 40 will probably give you your sound that you're looking for.
to.
So.
Right. Well, when I build I got a 420. I bought the 396 and a 427 at the same time. They're both car blocks. The 427 was in a Corvette, and so when I build the 427, I'm going to build it. I'm going to build a monster. So maybe I'll put the Diablos on the 427 when I do that. You know,
Yep.
I like to. I like that big block sound. I really do, and I've always liked
Yep.
that big block sound.
Oh yeah, the big block Chevy definitely has its own sound.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So I got a kick when Jay was telling me about you. He said go on his website and look at it, and you were doing videos, and you're like, here we got a such and such car, and it's not running now. We're in here working on
Yep.
it. It's not running now. I started laughing so hard, man. I was like, this guy is perfect for the show because he's got a sense of humor, man, and it
Yep.
really is because you were telling him the straight scoop. Hey, he brought it
Yep.
in, but it's not running now.
I think there was three of them in that video.
Yeah, there
There
was.
they came in as running cars and they weren't running. Yep. So,
Oh yeah, Jay did a good job when he recommended you to be on the show, man,
yep.
for sure. I
Yep.
guarantee
Well,
you.
I appreciate that, and I found out that Jay and in the last couple of years, I found out we're shirt tail relations somehow through
Oh wow.
family, marriages and stuff like that. That was pretty neat to figure that out. So,
Yeah.
I've known him a long time, and yeah, when my dad was I was visiting my dad, and they were going through some family albums, and there's somewhere through the family, Jay and I are shirt tail cousins somewhere. So,
Well,
yeah,
that's all right. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
yep,
Jay seems like
no,
he's a nice gentleman. I had a great time interviewing. And for anybody to be able to build their own monster truck like he did and do what he does with it, and still be able
yep.
to have the air conditioning and all that working, that's phenomenal for me.
Well, and he had a goal. That was his goal. He wanted to build a monster truck, and he definitely did it. It's cool.
Guaranteed.
He brings it to our show that we do at the end of the year in October at our local threshery, and
Uh huh.
and crushes cars there. And had when he what was he there 2 years ago? He didn't make it last year. He was at the Monster Truck Museum last year, and but the first year he made it out there and crushed cars. My wife rode with him, and boy, she had the most fun ever. And yeah, it was good. The crowd loved it, and it was good. So hopefully he doesn't book something else, and he's on the schedule to be there for us this year. So
Well, good.
we have
Well,
to get.
I think he's a man of his word, and he'll be there.
Yep, he is, and like I say, he told me, and I told him, I said I totally understand if something big came up and they wanted you to be somewhere. I totally get that, but
Right.
I think you'll be there. So,
Right.
and but besides that, our shows from where he lives to where our show is put on at the Threshery is about, I don't know what it is, 3 or 4 miles is all it is from his house. So it's a
Oh,
nice close to home show. So
you just hop in the blue ox and just drive it down there.
he could do that. He could do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you got to make a grand entrance. So when you got a monster truck, sometimes you
Yep.
bring it in on a hauler, and sometimes you drive it in. It just depends on what it is. Now, are you doing any building any custom headers for people? Do you do any of that work?
I've built them for pulling trucks, and I've built them for a few street rods. The president of our car club, Joe, he's got I shouldn't, maybe he doesn't want it out there in the world, but it's too late now. He's got a Model A that he put a LS engine in, and I had to build the headers for that
Uh
because
huh.
you couldn't fit anything else in the frame. And you know, I got to have the car here, and I don't to build them. People are like, "Well, I just need you a custom set of headers," and I got to have the car, make them, and it's very very time consuming, and being a one man shop, it takes up, like I say, it takes up so much time. So I try to stay away from it. But over the years, I've built quite a few sets of them. I would say, for cars that they either didn't make them, or I've had people buy headers that are supposedly fit their car. We've had to cut tubes off them, and I've rerouted the tubes to make it go around certain things or do whatever.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't advertise it and that I'll build them, but I've had a couple guys actually ask me, they wanted me to build them a set that looked like the ones that are on my coupe, and I said, well, I don't want to do that because those are mine. Nobody else has a set like it. So
So you can't have them. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do
yep,
it.
yeah.
But if they paid you enough money, we might have to then, huh?
Well, there's a
There
little
you
bit
go.
that everything's for sale, but
Yes, sir. You're a
yeah,
businessman.
yeah. But I try to hang on to. I had a huge auction here a week ago, and I had three semi trailers full of Mack truck parts, and a bunch of stuff I've been collecting. And my wife and I said we need to just clean up and kind of regroup a little bit. What you got going on? And
Uh huh.
and I agreed, and the auction went really well, and the truck parts all went to Nest Truck Parts, and they bought every single Mack truck part that I had pretty much, and they apparently restore trucks at their dealership,
Uh
so
huh.
that'll work. You know, that kind of stuff going to somebody use it. I like that because I don't know if it would have sat around in those trailers any longer if it had been any good. So,
Sure, guaranteed. Well,
but
and then you're letting somebody else get a piece that's hard to find or something like that, and
right,
it's just not sitting in your shop gathering dust. That's the
right,
best thing about it.
right, and that's I don't have any kids, but to leave any of this stuff to. So the everything will be for sale at some point, but the if there's the everything's for sale number doesn't work on everything for me, but it worked on a whole bunch of it last week.
Well,
So
there you go, man.
yeah.
Sometimes the guy just got. I mean, I'm sitting here in my studio right now, and on one wall is nothing but Christmas ornaments and cases of bottled water. That's our storage part, and then the other side is 50 years of old 10 classic toys and Hot Wheels and stuff like that, and stuff when I was in the monster truck business that I collected over the years and stuff. And then I have a big shop out in my we have 10 acres, and I got a big shop, and I've got monster truck bedsides and signs and in oil cans and my wife's like, what are you going to do with this stuff? And I told her, I said, well, you need to ask my son Jeff. I have three boys. I said, you need to ask Jeffrey what he's going to do with that stuff, because I'm going to continue to keep buying it and enjoying it, and then let him decide what he wants to do with it. But
Yeah.
it'll be a nice little nest egg, uh, for anybody that's got it. We both collect toys. I got my first original train set. We've got like 5 or 6 tubs full of Hot Wheels that he collected when he was a little kid. I've got Johnny Express trucks, and I mean, I just collect the stuff that catches my eye, lunch boxes, and so my collection is not specific, except for it's kind of related to automobiles, trucks, and stuff like that. But I do have a big Beatles collection too, so
Oh,
do a little bit of that too. So I'm kind of accused of collecting a lot of stuff.
well, I did quite a bit of collecting, and I cleaned out some of it, so it feels really good actually. I slept really good the last week I have. It's been it felt good to relieve myself of a bunch of that stuff because like I say, I don't have anybody to leave it to. So what I was going to do with it. Was I just was ever going to get around to doing anything? I've got a few Mack trucks, old semis that I'd like to restore,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't need all of the stuff I had. And I worry about the conversation my wife and I had was I worry about in 20 years from now, is there anybody going to be restoring those old trucks that's going to want to buy it?
That's the
So
truth. That is the
it,
truth.
it it worked out good to sell it now while I guess while the market of the guys that are restoring them are out there. So
Right.
you know, and I've got friends of mine that one friend in particular, he buys a lot of stuff, and I always pick on him. I say, boy, someday it's going to be a cool auction of yours, from all this to see all the stuff that he collects. 'Cause he doesn't sell anything.
Right.
He's got a collection like you wouldn't believe, and he just doesn't sell things and just keeps collecting. But
Yeah.
but whatever you want to do, if that's what you
Yeah.
want to do, that's fine.
That's the truth. I've had some collectors stop by the house and they say, "We hear you got a good collection and can we see it?" And they always go to my favorite pieces. I mean, and their eyes like, "What do you want for this?" And I'm like, "Well, I really don't want to sell it." And they're like, "Well, if I gave you this for you, would you?" And I always tell them, "No, I won't sell it.
Yep,
It's not for sale." And then pretty soon we get to that price, and it's just like, "Oh my God, oh, you're just driving me crazy." I get,
yep,
I get like flustered, and I'm like, okay, it's sold. And then I just like, why did I sell that? I'm never gonna find another one. And well,
yep.
you know what? It's just stuff at the end of the day. It's
It's
just
that's what and that's exactly right. It's just stuff, and when you're gone, they're not. Somebody may not appreciate it as much as you do, or they might
That's
appreciate it
true.
more. You never know.
That's the
So,
truth. Yeah,
yep,
I take my son all the time through my stuff, and I tell him, okay, now this is what I paid. This is what we got in it. This is what I think the market is on them and stuff. Because being an auctioneer, also, I mean, I try to stay up on the toys and different things like that, just because that I collect them and stuff. So. I mean, I got Hot Wheels I got my very first Hot Wheel I ever bought, still to this
wow,
day. So
wow.
I've got toys that I played with when I was a kid that I still, I mean, they got some damage because I played with them, but I've got all that stuff, so uh,
That's
it's different.
yep.
But is there anything that's in the future for you that you're getting ready to start on, or that you want to start on?
Well, like I say, that
The
little that
Ford
little 38 that little
Mac,
38 Mac pickup that I
right?
I really want to get working on that. I've got another little project pushed over to the side that's been rolling around my shop for a long time, and that's kind of a. I'm keeping it as a little top secret build,
Uh
so
huh.
you'll just have to watch my Facebook page for that, but
Okay.
see as it goes. But either my personal page or you'll see more pictures of it on there. But that one's I'm kind of excited for that. I've been buying parts for it, and once I get some more room, if I get that Mack truck rolling and moving on its own to get out of its way, then I can move over to that one. So
Hmm.
uh, my wife's she's got a pink 53 Buick that she really wants to get going. So I told her, well, she's like third in line now. So we
Right.
built her 41 Buick last year, and I said, you're just gonna have to run that for a little bit till we get the pink one done. So
Yeah. Now,
uh,
has she always been into cars?
and she's not a car person per se, like work on cars or anything like that, but she likes the old style cars, the 40s, big fender. Her grandpa and grandma, they always had Buicks, and she really likes the Buick cars. And
Uh huh.
so, but she's she's not those girls that work on the cars or stuff, what I would
Right.
say, but
Right.
she's into them. She's into rockabilly and into the pinup scene, and she puts on the pinup contest for our local car show
Oh,
in
cool.
Edgerton. And yeah, it's be her third year running that, and she's really into all that, and she loves the cars. And like I say, and I'm glad she doesn't work on it with me, because then I'd be micromanaging her. That's what she accuses me all the time.
That
So
might not be a good thing.
yeah, yeah, I don't. So, but
Well, I wish.
we work
Go ahead.
we work good together, because I can work on the cars, and she can work on the dressing pretty, and the the making other things work, the car shows and the, you know, she's very good. She's very good with logistics and putting together what needs to happen at these shows and at our events, and she's very good with bands and knowing who the bands are and picking out music and stuff like that for our shows. So it, you know, her having that part of it, I'll take care of the cars and getting the stuff there. You just tell me what I need to do. So
Tell you what the theme is, huh?
yep, yep,
I just wish I could get my wife to do it. I've tried to get her involved and tried, and she don't want to go to a car show. She don't like them, and so I end up going by myself and stuff like that. But that's just what we do, I guess. They say opposites attract, and I guess that's exactly what it is because
yep.
she didn't like the monster truck stuff either. My boys they
Hmm.
did, and she went to a few shows that we had close by, but she wasn't into it. I used to call her she's a Molly. She likes to go to the mall. She don't even do that.
Oh,
She don't even do that no more. So her dad gave her a Mustang. This sits. I drive it most of the time, and I pay for the insurance and the plates. And she drives it maybe a couple times a month or a couple times a year, and that's about as far as she does. So
hmm.
I tell her, let's sell it. No, I don't want to sell it because it's my dad's, and I'm like, okay, I'll just keep paying for it. Just
Yeah.
whatever makes her
Oh,
happy, right?
yep. The 41 Buick, Nicole, she paid for that. She spent, it was all her money. She had bought a 54 Buick first, and
Uh huh.
then she sold. We got that going, and I put a LS engine in that 54 Buick for her, and then she sold that and made money on it, and her dream car was this 41 Buick, and it's nice. It was, she picked out the colors, and she did some of the chroming stuff. She did do that, so she's good. You know, that's she's got more finesse than me for some of that. Did some of that applying the chrome, doing the process of that. I did the painting part of it, but then she did the chroming. But yeah, it was all her design on what she wanted where and how she wanted it to be. Her vision in her head. So
Oh,
and
cool.
and she paid. Besides the labor, I guess she must have worked that off. I guess, but I didn't get paid for the labor, but she paid for all the parts. So,
Well, that's just being married, Mike. That's all
yep,
that
yep,
is.
yep,
That's being married. So,
yep.
if somebody that's out there listening, I mean, they probably all know you, but give us an idea where your shop's at, the address, phone number, email, or whatever like that.
Well, my shop's located. I It's Janesville, Wisconsin address, 7241 North Eagle Road, Janesville, Wisconsin. Phone number 608-751-6984. Um, it's closer to Edgerton than it is Janesville, so I'm always in Edgerton. If you want to find me, I'm usually somewhere in town or something going on. Our car tired iron cruise nights, I'm there. That's always happening in Edgerton, part of the Tobacco Days Committee. Edgerton's known as the Tobacco City, so
Uh huh.
so so part of, not the Tobacco Days Committee, but the Tobacco Days Car Show Committee. So we put on a local car show in town, and that's the easiest way to find me. If you go to Edgerton, somebody knows where I'm at. Otherwise, look me up on Facebook, Mike's Custom Exhaust and Hot Rod Shop, or Mike Johnson. And I've usually got a picture of my Milner coupe, and it says the modern day John Milner on my site. So yeah.
That's good. Would you think Milner would like your car?
Oh yeah, I've got pictures of him and I by it when he was here
Oh,
in
that's
Janesville
cool.
at a
That's
show.
cool.
Yeah, and then he signed the firewall. The car's been redone since he signed the firewall, so that piece of the firewall is just hung in the basement somewhere. But
Uh huh.
that he signed, but because I redid it and put a shinier piece. But yeah, he was a pretty cool guy. I got quite a few autographs from him, and like I say, we had pictures of him by it.
Right.
About 2005, I think it was. So.
Right. Well, last question, I guess, is unless you can think of something that you want to talk about, but
Mhm.
uh, last question that I have for you is for somebody that's wanting to build an automobile, what do you recommend, and how do you recommend they look for in trying to find the right car?
Well, they all have their thought in their head of what they want. The thing is, if you don't know anything about cars, you should take somebody with you that knows things about cars, because you can get into uh, a mess, depending on where you're getting the car from. If you're getting it from my area, you're most likely going to get a pile of rust to deal with. If
Right.
it's something old that needs a lot of work. Um, if you want just a driver or something that's already done, spend a little more money and get something that's farther ahead. If you're not in the mood to, or to do a total restoration, because once you start taking things apart, a lot of cars don't go back together. If you get them, I know cars all over that people tore apart, and I'm guilty of doing it. I've taken cars apart and sold them. But if you depends on your knowledge of where you want to be. If you think you want to totally restore something and you're good at it and you can do it and you've got the checkbook for it, have at it. But
Right.
I would take somebody with you that knows a little bit about cars, and there's plenty of those guys still around, and just look at it. And my advice is buy something that runs and drives now and enjoy it, and then just fix little bits at a time.
Right. There you
You know,
go.
that's the that's the way to do it. Is starting from scratch is tough, and if you there's guys that they got to build it. They got to build it all themselves, which I enjoy that. That's great that you want to do it all, but if you're not into it, if you're not capable of, or you don't have the place to do it, try to buy something that runs and works and is drivable right now, and enjoy it, and then do your touches to it a little at a time. There's always there's always things you can do to them, to make them a little better, make them more personally yours, instead of buying something and tear it all apart and then go, ooh, now what?
right. Right.
It's that's a tough that's a tough to come back from when you tear it all the way apart and then try to put it back together. It's a process.
That is the truth. And plus, in the hot rod world, I don't know if you find this or not, but in the hot rod world, once you get one done, you're never done with it, because you're always gonna see something else that you want to do to it, and make it yours and stuff. So you're really never done. So like you said,
No.
might as well buy one you can drive and enjoy and work on it a little at a time, and just
Yep.
have small projects over the winter time when you ain't doing nothing, and you can work in your shop, and then in the summertime just enjoy it. That's the best
Yep.
thing to do.
Yep. If like I say, if you don't have especially if you don't have the means or the place to completely tear a car apart, just you know work on something a little at a time at your pace and what you can handle. And you're exactly right. My wife's the I'll go back to the 41 Buick again. I took the bumper off to rechrome it because I didn't like it. And
Right.
there's always things you look at and you think, well, I should have did that better, and I can do that. And if you can if you can train yourself to say, this weekend I'm gonna put a different, you know, headlights in it, or different, make the turn signals work better, or a different steering column or something, and do that this weekend.
Right.
That's something you can do. And then, okay, so I got a little bit done. My famous saying in the shop is, a little bit each day. If you can just do a little bit each day, you'll get it done. And
Guaranteed.
and yep. So
And
it's
Brian said a mouthful here. He says, and you buy 10 more before that one is finished. And he said, laugh
yep,
out loud. But that's
yep,
okay. I
yep,
mean, who dies with the most toys wins at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah. I just sold a bunch of mine, so I lost them. But he's definitely one he buys more stuff before the first one's even started on. So
Well, that's okay, because the
yep,
guys got to keep dreaming, right?
yep, yep.
Got to keep
Yeah,
dreaming.
you have to live to be 410 years old to get them all done.
Oh,
But
I know. Boy, wouldn't it
yep,
be nice if you could, though? But
yep,
I got a
yep.
shop full of. I got about 5 pedal cars that I got to get done this summer, and yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about for sure. You got
Yep,
They just sit out there, but well, I tell you what, Mike, I really enjoyed talking to you, man. If you have
yep,
anybody in your car club that would like to be on the show, you know how to get a hold of me. I
yep,
would love to talk to them. I want somebody that's going to be a good talker like you have been, and can roll with the flow and stuff. I'd rather have somebody that can stay on an hour or so, and then somebody that wants to stay on a half an hour. You know.
Right.
So
So
you let them know and tell them to get a hold of
we'll
me.
do.
All right,
We'll do. Sounds good. Thank you for the call.
Mike. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. You have a nice
Yep.
day and
I do
enjoy the
too.
summer. Okay.
Yep. You too.
All right, buddy. Bye bye.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks.
See, guys, it's just like this gentleman here was exactly how the show was created. We talked to a gentleman that a month ago I had no idea even existed. He has friends on here that I had no idea even existed, that they're car guys and they're listening and stuff like that. And it's just, it worked out so good. It really did. We got to talk to Mike about his passion for the cars. He gave us a lot of ideas if you're working on a car and different things like that. And I think Mike's the kind of guy that if you had a problem, you could pick up the phone and you could call him and he'd try to help you out. I really do. So, hey, we're going to go ahead and let's play something here for a second. Let me just find something here right fast, and then we'll be right back and we'll finish up the show right here. So let's see, what are we going to play for you guys that we haven't heard in a while? All right, we're just going to do some Main Street Memories right fast. We'll be right back here, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of Main Street Memories on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Friday night, small town glow, neon buzz and the radio low. Pulled up slow by the old car wash, just me and the boys letting time get lost. Shined up chrome on the parking lot lights, laughing loud, yeah, we own those nights. Picked up friends, piled in tight, windows down in the summer night. We didn't know it then, but man, we had it all. Every mile we drove, we were standing tall. Those were our Main Street memories, cruising slow through our golden years. Million miles on a two-lane dream, blacktop hearts and gasoline. V8 motors thundering loud, shaking glass all through downtown. Camaros, Mustangs, Mopar too. Everybody asking who's gonna rule. Girls waving, hey, take me for a ride. Young hearts burning under neon lights. Yeah, we didn't know just what we had, but looking back, man, it don't get better than that. Those Main Street memories, music blasting from every door. Different songs, but we all wanted more. Headlights lined up, engines rev. Friday nights felt like heaven instead. Everybody had a name and a ride, reputation on the line with pride. From the stoplight down to the edge of town, we'd lay it down when the sun went down. Yeah, word got around when the fast cars came. Every race out there made a name. Those were our Main Street memories, cruising slow through our golden years. Million miles on a two-lane dream, blacktop hearts and gasoline. V8 motors thundering loud, shaking glass all through downtown. Camaros, Mustangs, Mopar too. Everybody asking who's gonna rule. Girls waving, hey, take me for a ride. Young hearts burning under neon lights. Yeah, we didn't know just what we had, but looking back, man, it don't get better than that. Those Main Street memories. Album nights, living rear view glass, faded just a little, but they still last. Every laugh, every turn, every street light glow, still riding shotgun in my soul. Yeah, those Main Street memories still running wild inside of me. Million miles, but I go again. just to be back there with my friends. V8 motors rolling through time, still hear that thunder in my mind. Camaros, Mustangs, Moped pride, still hear echoes when I close my eyes. Girls waving like time stood still, and somehow deep down it always will. Yeah, we didn't know just what we had, but those were the best days we'll never get back. Those Main Street memories.
Main Street Memories right here on Pedal the Middle. Brian, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was a nice compliment. I hope you come back and listen to more shows. We're on every Wednesday and we're on every Sunday at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We start off with music, and then our interviews are always on about 7:15 on that's all Mountain Standard Time. The music that you hear is lyrics that I write, and then I have a music program that we put the music into, and we create the song. Me and the music program create the songs, and then we put them up, and these songs are for sale if you want to buy something. We do have different albums out and different things like that. This next album, or this next song right here, I was gonna excuse me, when I was doing this song, I wanted to just do a song about Carroll Shelby, and I couldn't, because the fact is you can't use his name or anything like that because it's all trademarked. The world is full of trademark stuff. So I did a little more background on him, and I found out that he had two nicknames, and one of his nicknames was Shell, and the other one was the Texas Cobra. And I thought, well, I want to make a song about a cobra, and I want to make one about Carroll Shelby. How perfect the Texas Cobra name would be. So that's what it is. This song next here, ladies and gentlemen, on Pedal of the Metal Motors and Music, is called the Texas Cobra.
Out where the blacktop cuts through dust lived a man who believed in thrust. Didn't follow roads he carved his own, with a rebel heart and a will of stone. Engine screaming were his prayer, freedom ringing in the desert air. People talk, but legends prove some are born with nothing to lose. Texas Cobra, strike fast, strike loud. Horsepower rolling like a thundercloud. Steel and fire running through his veins, turning wild dreams into runaway trains. When that motor roars, you feel it over. King of the road, the Texas Cobra. Started with sparks and a fearless grin, said let the revolution begin. Took quiet machines and gave them bite, built them mean, built them right. Doubt came knocking, he slammed the door, then built something faster than ever before. Safe was never in his plan, he was gasoline wrapped in a man. You Texas Cobra, born to run, chasing the horizon, racing the sun. Every mile left legends behind, proof that speed lies first in the mind. If you hear that thunder rolling closer, make way for the Texas Cobra. The Texas Cobra. He didn't just dream, he dared. Didn't just build, he declared. Some in fate, some leave a sound. There The Texas Cobra, forever fast. Ghost in the chrome of a fearless past. Turn the key, let the lightning start. You'll hear his echo in every hot rod heart. Yeah, the highway still leans him over. Long live the legend, the Texas Cobra.
There you go, the Texas Cobra right here on Pedal to the Metal Motors and Music. Carter, I'll put your song into the queue on Sunday. I have to load the queue up, and I don't have that in the queue right now, so I will play your song on Sunday for you. This last one here, ladies and gentlemen, and then I got to go because I got a busy day tomorrow, and I've got to get some songs written for people that are going to be on the show. But this last song here is called Mustang Fever. We'll finish the night off with that, and then we'll go right into the outro. You guys have a very safe holiday weekend if you can't be here on Sunday. If you can, tune in. We'll be here Sunday at 6 o'clock starting off, and then we'll be talking with Scott Goodhue, and he will be talking about the Young Guns. And then we have Tony Janetta. He'll be on the show, and we'll be talking to him from Pueblo, Colorado. And Tony's going to be in my car show this on May 31st, and he has a pretty cool collection of cars, man. So that's going to be another good show. But I want to thank Mike Johnson for being on tonight. I really enjoyed talking to him. Jay, thank you so much for hooking us up. And if you guys follow us and like us, please, I appreciate that. And just become fans. I mean, anybody that listened to the show tonight that's new is automatically a lug nut. So I know you've all waited your whole life for that, but anyway, you're now an official lug nut, and make sure you tune in to the show every Sunday and every Wednesday. So here's our last song for the evening. It's called Mustang Fever, and we'll see you on Sunday on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
The streets caught fire. A brand new legend born from rubber and wire. Low stand shadow with a fighter's grin. Turn the key once, hear the storm begin. Long hood lightning, short back frame, every stoplight screaming out its name. It wasn't built just to roll, it was made to run. Detroit muscle loaded in a smoking gun. Feel that vibration clouding up your spine. Green light drops, now it's go time. Mustang fever burning in my blood. Hear those horses kicking up the dust and mud. Foot to the front of the wild, run free. Every mile screaming who I wanna be. Chrome flashing like a midnight dream. Nothing alive feels this extreme. Mustang fever.
All right, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Pedal to the Metal. I want to send out a huge thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and supporting the show. I also want to thank all of our amazing sponsors. You're the ones that help keep the wheels turning, and we truly appreciate you. Be sure to join us every Wednesday and Sunday. We kick things off with music at 6 p.m. each night, and the full show starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Until next time, keep the pedal down, heads high, and we'll see you at the next show.